is also named to the team. Meanwhile, other news in baseball, the Nationals have named their bench coach Miguel Cairo is their interim manager. They made that announcement today. Played with 9 teams over 17 seasons from 1996 to 2012, and he replaces Dave Martinez, who was fired along with GM Mike Rizzo on Sunday.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Hope everybody had a great holiday weekend and everybody's safe. Nobody was injured with fireworks.
No missing digits.
Everybody's got the digits you started the weekend with. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I've got mine.
Oh,
I'm
same
all
here.
good. I didn't light anything off.
I did.
Did you?
Oh, I was a hillbilly.
Really?
No question.
Really?
We had this. My daughter went down. I think it was somewhere in Puyallup, and so we were up on Camino Island, where it was not only legal to shoot them off, but encouraged, because there was a show like 3 houses down that my buddy lives on the beach, and it went on. They must have had like 6 or 8 launchers because they were just going off constantly. But I do have to say I'm a little bit fascinated by, when you light the bomb in the tube. It's got the long, wick, so you can, get away from it. And that thing just was a cannon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't believe the stuff they're selling out there.
Yeah, sounded like they were lighting off sticks of dynamite around my house. I mean, just the enormous boom. Enormous. I'm like, that doesn't sound legal. But
How's Frank do with that?
he doesn't like it at all. So I sat in my house. I got home before it got dark. I was out with some friends, got home before it got dark, cranked the TV up to 100, trying to drown out any noise, and he was just running back and forth, pacing, panting, and then he'd get on his hind legs, looking out the window, then run back and look at me like, what the hell's going on? Then run back to the window and I was trying to chill him out, and yeah, it's not a good night for
Bob's talking about his dog, by the way, not like a family member.
Yeah, that's right. My Uncle Frank, he was out there panting. He's running, standing on his hind legs, which is weird.
Hoover can't hear anymore, so
that's when you appreciate that.
He's blissfully unaware.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. But hopefully everybody out there, your pets, and you are all safe and had a good weekend. Mariners had a great homestand.
Yes,
5-2. How about that?
Fantastic.
Felt kind of bad after that. I'm not going to lie. After that Royals splitting with the Royals, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That didn't feel good. That didn't feel good at all. But for them to go through and sweep the Pirates, not only sweep them, but shut them out. They were 0 for the series in terms of scoring runs when they had just done the same thing to the Cardinals coming in. They'd shut out the Cardinals, and then they come here, and the Mariners have their first 3-game series shutout, 3 consecutive shutouts, first time in franchise history.
Yeah.
And they've won back-to-back games by a score of 1-0 for the first time in franchise history. So, needless to say, pitching, outstanding pitching in that series. From Wu, Castillo, and then Kirby, they were all phenomenal. Bullpen covers, 7 2/3 or whatever it was in total. They were phenomenal. I mean, this looked like the team from last year in terms of the pitching. Just nails, shutting the opposition. And I know the Pirates aren't the best team in baseball, but we've seen some weak teams come in and light up pitchers and light up some of these pitchers. So I'll take it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and so Wu and Castillo, really the two that have been making their appearances, right?
Yeah.
And those guys that have been fantastic, especially Wu. I mean, so happy to see him be an all-star. But, yeah, you look at where the numbers are starting to go, because last year, I mean, ERA, quality starts, opponent batting average, they were number 1. Mm-hmm. But I was just looking at my notes. This is in my notebook where I write down my thoughts and feelings, Bob.
Yeah.
And, I was looking at May 16th. I think it was a show that Moyer filled in. And, we were looking at where they were ranked. ERA, at that point, they were number 19. Now they're at number 11. And then quality starts, they were 16th. Now they're 10th. So they've made some huge strides. Now they're not going to get back up probably where they were just because of the first half and the way that went with some of the injuries. But, man, you see the pitching is going absolutely the right way. So, they're getting back into – and that's kind of what we talked about with this rotation. Like, can they get back to, even close to where they are? You'd take it. So, meanwhile, the offense – and we talked about this last year with all those number one numbers pitching-wise, just give us middle of the road. That's what we're getting.
Yeah.
If you look at on-base percentage, walks, slug, I mean, they're 10, 11, 12. I think, obviously home runs, they're number 6 with 119, but that's mostly because of Cal. But
right.
But, you look at run differential. I mean, they're right there where we would have killed for that last year.
Well, it would have made a
offensive
playoff team.
numbers. Yeah.
They'd have been a playoff team if they
Absolutely.
were even close to middling last year. So currently they are a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're still 7 games back because the damn Astros just don't lose. They just can't gain any ground on Houston. It's ridiculous. And, so be it. We'll see how that plays out in the second half of the season, but they've got that wild card spot, the third wild card spot. So that's the one you hang on to like grim death. Yeah. You hang on to that because I don't know if the Astros are going to cool off or not, but a 7-game bulge is fairly significant. We'll see what goes on. But you got a 2.5-game lead on the Red Sox right now for that third wild card spot.
Yeah.
So that's the focus. I mean, just keep doing your thing. And they're finding different guys to chip in and what they've done. I mean, look, they just played 17 games in a row. 17 days in a row they played, and they went 11-6. I'll take it. That was fantastic. Yeah. 7-game homestand, they go 5-2. And what's interesting is in the 7-game homestand, you got production from Cal, but he only had 3 hits. All 3 were home runs.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great, his average went down. He was 3 for 20 in the series. It wasn't like he was, lighting it up, yet you found ways to win. So he had those 3 home runs. 2 were in one game. He had 3 home runs, 5 runs driven in. He had eight strikeouts, 3 walks. But he just, the game where he tied Griffey was phenomenal.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high, hit deep, left field. Has he done it again? It is into the bullpen. Cal Raleigh has done it again. Number 35 on the season. He ties Ken Griffey Jr. with the most ever before the All-Star break in Seattle Mariners history. Cal Raleigh is a sensation. He is unbelievable. He is indescribable. And he hits home runs every single day. He hoists the trident as T-Mobile Park celebrates the greatness of Cal Raleigh.
Gary's fantastic.
Yeah,
he does a great job.
It was cool to see. It was very cool. I mean, it just couldn't happen to a better guy, and just really cool to see what he's been able to do. So he's piling up those numbers. But the point of pointing out that he didn't have this dramatic series. Yeah, that game, 2 home runs. He had 3 total hits. They were all home runs. But he goes 3 for 20. And that's not to rip Cal. That's to point out you found different ways to win, which is what you have to do. Yeah. He's not going to be a guy who's going to give you 10 for 20. He's not going to give you 8 for 20. You're going to have these moments, and when he doesn't, step up and be the guy every time he steps into the box, somebody else has got to figure it out. And that's what was good to see, is that he had production, again, 2 home runs in one game and then a home run in another, and that was it in terms of hits. But you had Randy Arozarena step up, a guy we've been talking about, a little less than Julio, but he was the next guy when we're talking about who are the producers in this lineup that you look at and say you should be driving in runs, whether it's doubles, whether it's runners in scoring position, you're hitting the ball hard, you're hitting it out of the park, and it's Cal, it's Julio, and it's Arozarena. And Arozarena hit 6 home runs in the 7-game homestand, 9 runs driven in, and I don't know if that 100th home run was just weighing on him and maybe he was trying too hard, but once he got that one out of the way, the guy's been on fire.
Here comes the 2-0. Swung on, blasted, left field. It's on its way. It is gone. Randy Arozarena has broken the tie into the Pittsburgh bullpen. It is 1-0 Mariners. Randy blasts another one. He has been red hot, and he scorched that one. It's the Mariners 1. It's the Pirates 0.
Line drive, just
Crushed
on
it.
a line out of the park, and that's the game winner. That's the only run they scored.
Right.
I mean, he won the game with that. And to see him get hot is just so big for this lineup because we've been talking about it all year. Cal can't do it alone. You got to have others that, at least on somewhat consistent basis. We've talked about, Canzone has picked it up. JP was great in the JP 10 for 28 in the 7 games. So he's getting on base. Guys are chipping in, but in terms of production and hitting the ball out of the park, Arozarena stepping up like that is just huge for this team.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, he's really heated up and starting in the month of June. And you look at the last 33 games, he's batting .298. OPS is .911. He's got the 19 RBIs, 7 home runs, 9 doubles. So, yeah, he's been the guy we've kind of waited for. And it seems like he's getting settled in here. Like, the fans love him. Mm-hmm. And that's what he had in Tampa Bay, and they had Randy Land and all that, and now you can see the fans are really embracing him. I feel like he feels like he's home finally, and yeah, just doing a great job. So yeah, that's when we've talked about him, like we got to get Cal obviously and Julio, but then who's going to be that third guy or that fourth guy? And right now he's the second guy, but picks up some of the slack offensively. And I love seeing Canzone also with great numbers right now. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's Rayleigh. But
Canzone 7 for 17 in those 7 games.
Yeah.
JP 10 for 28.
And kind of quiet, right? I mean, it was like, and
gives you some pop. He's got some home runs. I mean, Canzone, got to give him credit. He's looked different since he's been back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can he be that guy game in, game out? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'd say he's been a very pleasant surprise because I didn't have a ton of expectation attached to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you saw, that was his first game back at Arizona when he hit that. Did he hit a home run or it was I don't know. He drove in runs.
Yeah.
And he was just very confident at the plate and just looked like he hadn't been away at all. So, yeah, nice to see him. Maybe he can show up every once in a while, and same thing with JP. So nice to see those guys all contributing on a, it wasn't like a huge weekend offensively, but they got it done. And the story was much more about the pitching, but also I thought it answered a lot of questions for, okay, who's going to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th guy that, is going to give us some production?
Yeah, it was, to me, especially this series obviously was about the pitching because the offense was kind of a no-show after the first game. I mean, you scored 1 run in each of the last 2 games. So, your offense, look, you were going up against Skeens yesterday, which was an interesting matchup. He looks every bit the dominant pitcher that he's been portrayed as being. If you're not paying attention to him, you're just looking at numbers. I mean, they're pretty, I think he only threw, 74 pitches in that game or something.
Yeah. 5 innings.
Got him out of there pretty quickly. Now, they did bump him up. I think he was scheduled to pitch today.
Okay.
And he got bumped up to Sunday. So, maybe there was some, I don't really know what went into the pitch count with him, but they got him out of there fairly early, but he was dominant.
Well, and then they bring in their bullpen, and I think it was the 3rd at bat was Randy, and he got the home run. So, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's some frustrated Pirates fans that are just like, why don't you leave him in maybe a little bit longer?
I don't know. They may have talked about it there, local media. Maybe there was their reasoning, and I didn't catch it. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm glad he was out of there. He was 5 innings. He gave up 5 hits. He struck out 10 in 5 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, he had those guys under control. So, yeah, 78 pitches. He was out of there. He's got a 1.94 ERA. My goodness. Wow. Meanwhile, Kirby keeps chipping away at his ERA because it was bloated. His first couple starts, he was getting touched ups, giving up runs. He goes 6 scoreless innings and 6 1/3 scoreless. ERA down to 4.22. So good to see him chipping away at that. The pitching, Luis Castillo, his best start of the season. And you see, he was dominant. And then you handed it over to Brash. And then you hand it over to Munoz, and you're like, how do you even lose? It feels insurmountable if you're the opposition. When you got a starter that dominates like Luis did, like Wu has been, like Kirby did yesterday, and then you can get those guys in there, it just feels like done, game over. Be nice to give them more of a cushion than one run.
Yeah,
that would certainly be helpful. But yeah, to me this weekend was all about the pitching, and Dan Wilson talked about it after the game yesterday.
Yeah, kudos to the pitching staff. I mean, that's really difficult to do. I think on the other side, the Pirates did it in St. Louis before they came here, and then they're on the other side of it when they came here from our pitching staff. And what a turn of events. But our guys just executed pitches. That's what they did, and to a man. Some tough situations. I thought Gabe came in, with a runner on and nobody out, and just really slammed the door there with 3 punchies. Just an outstanding effort by him, and all of our guys. It's hard to point to one guy because they've all been very sharp, and this was a big series for us at home in front of the home fans as we talk about. Getting energy from them, and a big one today.
By the way, people saying the speculation was the Pirates bumped him up skiing so that he could start the All-Star game. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm glad he was out of there after 5.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, I wasn't that invested in why he was out. I was just happy to see that he was out because, again, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts. I had seen enough. He's really good.
Yeah, he is.
He was having his way with his lineup. So
I think they're called punchies, Bob.
No, Dan, come on. Why? Why with the Ernies and the punchies?
Our buddy Brad Adams says that.
Oh, I know.
We love Brad.
Oh, I know.
Everybody
I love
loves
Brad. Not when he's saying that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that Castillo's performance, I thought I loved that. And then go back to, was it Kirby? Yeah, it was Kirby's outing where he went 7 innings against the Angels.
Yeah, 14 strikeouts.
14 strikeouts. Did he have a walk? I mean, we hardly walked anybody. I don't know. I can't remember if he did that day or not. But then you bring in Brash, who is as unique and talented as anybody. And then, and then you can bring in Andres Munoz, of course. But, I mean, I love it when they go 7. And, like you were talking about last week, they're just not taxing their bullpen. And, when they have to go to those guys, it's just they've been money. So, yeah, it's a – now I'm gonna throw a little bit of a wet blanket here.
Oh, Doomsday Dave is back.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, all I'm saying is this. These next 2 series, okay, you look at Detroit and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Pretty much every stat, they're either top 5 or top 10 offensively. Both of those teams.
Yeah.
If you go and look at, on-base percentage or slug or whatever, and you look at these 2 teams that they just faced. Pirates are number 26 in average, on base percentage number 24. They're dead last in slug, and OPS they're number 29. Reminder, 30 teams. So, and then same thing with Kansas City. I mean, really, they're 20, 25, 27 in the slash line numbers. So,
what's your point, man?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just like, okay, well, I just think it's more than anything, it's going to set them up really well. Lots of confidence going up against these 2 on the road and a couple of offensive teams that are pretty much juggernauts, right up there with the Astros and the Dodgers. By the way, did you see what happened in the Astro game yesterday?
No.
They had a chance to the Dodgers. The tying run was at the plate at the time, and I can't remember who it was, punched one into shallow center field, and who came running up and made the catch? Taylor Trammell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
he was celebrating, and his glasses
traitor.
went flying off, and he was all fired up, and I'm like, oh, man.
I used to really like him.
That is painful.
Yeah,
painful
Astros.
to watch.
Mariners are on a roll. They've won 3 in a row, 7 of 10. Astros have won 3 in a row, 8 of 10.
Yeah.
Sick of him.
And that little creep, Altuve, just keeps hitting bombs.
Yeah, tired of him, too. But maybe they've got an opening with the Yankees. Yankees have dropped 7 of 10. Yeah, they won yesterday, but they've won 3 of their last 10. Yeah. So they've been scuffling.
Yeah.
So maybe you can catch them on their heels a bit. We'll see. That series gets going tomorrow. But right now, let's take 2.
2-time Home Run Derby champion Pete Alonso has announced that he will not be participating in the Home Run Derby this year in Atlanta.
Yeah, he said it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it again. I guess just this year he's saying no thanks. I've never taken all that time off, and he's in the game, but he'll take the day off and whatever prep he would do for the home run derby. So it probably is a substantial break. I don't know how much how much prep he puts in. So that's probably a nice break for him. But I'm just wondering who's going to be in it beyond Cal, Wood, and Acuna. I think those are the only three that have been announced to this point. Because I think Judge said no. I think Ohtani said no.
Kyle Schwarber.
I mean, I think he said no.
I think he said no as well.
Yeah. So I don't. What are they going to do? I'll be interested to see who's in this thing.
It was kind of confusing because Alonso was like, "Well, I've never really gotten to enjoy those days off." Well, you're playing in the game, but I know that it's probably, preparation and things like that, and then. Yeah, and it's on a different day.
If I'm on a Met fan, I appreciate that because he said, I decided not to do it this year. I've never really fully enjoyed the 3 days off, so I just want to be in the best possible position to help this team win in the second half. I'm in a groove with certain things. I definitely will do it again. It doesn't mean no forever, but he's thinking about, I'm feeling good at the plate right now. I don't want to mess anything up with home run swings.
The last place Washington Nationals fired President of Baseball Operations Mike Rizzo and manager Dave Martinez on Sunday.
A lot of jobs lost early. I mean, you had the Orioles making a change. You got this. There was, who else? Somebody else got fired early. Trying to remember. Somebody will text it in. But, yeah, guys out there, look, it's the owner came out and said our family is eternally grateful for their years of dedication, blah, blah, blah. They have a World Series trophy with those guys.
Right.
But they cut bait when they see things aren't going the right way. And I'm sure they're different cities looking at their situation going, wow, I wish they'd do that here. Everybody loves to complain about their GM and their manager and whatnot. And Seattle's not unique to that either. But, yeah, they've got Miguel Cairo is going to be the interim manager there.
Well, it was kind of a weird thing. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago when Dave Martinez started talking about how, hey, it's not the coaching. It's not us. It's all on the players. And I was listening to MLB Central this morning, and I think it was Mark DeRosa that, was like, I know Dave Martinez. And he was kind of at a loss for words trying to describe, that event when he kind of went off on his players a little bit. And then, because that's just the opposite of what I've always seen as far as coaching in any sport. It's like you take the brunt of everything, and then you go and rip your guys behind the scenes, and that was kind of an odd approach from Dave Martinez.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, Cal isn't the only Mariner heading to the All-Star game. We'll talk about who else made the cut. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner.
Bryan
Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row.
Julio
Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
and Cal.
Number 34 for the Big Dumpers.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4 from the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
What a beautiful day outside, nice and warm. Rode the motorcycle into work. I'll ride every day that it's not raining and it's above 70 degrees. You can bet on that, and that means I'm taking a little risk. I get it. A lot of my more experienced riding friends have told me not a matter of if, but when you get into an accident, Bob. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Knocking on wood, hasn't happened yet. But if you're like me and you're out there on the bike a lot, you are exposed. And if you do happen to get into an accident and you're injured, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it. And that would be Law Tigers. They've been part of the riding community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support whenever they need it. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. They're out at all of the events. You always see the vans and the tents everywhere supporting all the clubs and shops. Law Tigers are always by your side. And as always, your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. So with the Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cybersecurity must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on whatever's on your mind. The weekend, the 17-game stretch, the 7-game homestand, the 6 games coming up for the Mariner, whatever's on your mind. Throw it out there. By the way, I'm not seeing Brent Rooker's name anywhere. I've been looking for it. Ian was suggesting Brent Rooker might be in the home run derby, but so far all I've seen, Byron Buxton has announced that he's going to do it. So right now, all I can find is Buxton, James Wood, Cal, and Acuna are the only participants that I've seen.
Yeah.
So we'll see if more are added, or they're just going to go with 4, which I wouldn't imagine they would, but we'll see what happens with that. Bummer that Judge is not going to do it. Ohtani's not going to do it. Alonso's not going to do it. Schwarber's not going to do it.
Yeah, I wonder, Major League Baseball, I guess you don't want to take that decision away from a guy, and I guess you can't make it mandatory, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it sure would help, if you're the commissioner, you want your superstars out there.
Well, that was the whole reason they made home field advantage would go to the winner of the All-Star game for the few years they did it, and everybody hated it. But the motivation was all the stars were begging out of the thing. I'm hurt, my elbow, my knee. They wanted time off. So your biggest stars were saying, that's okay. I'm not going to play.
Right.
So, yeah, hopefully it doesn't get to that again. But meanwhile, Mariners will have 4 representatives for the All-Star game this year. In case you missed that bit of news, we all knew about Cal. He's going to be the starting catcher. But the announcements were made yesterday at the game. Bryan Wu, Andres Munoz, 2 guys we were talking about. Who deserves it, right? All the conversations we were having leading up to this. Beyond Cal. Cal was the obvious. Put him aside. Who deserves it? We were going, well, it's 2 guys that you can't vote on because the pitchers aren't voted on. Right. And it was Bryan Wu and Andres Munoz, and lo and behold, they made it. So that was good to see. The surprise, Julio Rodriguez got named to the All-Star team. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But it was cool to be down there yesterday with the announcement being made. And, I asked Dan how satisfying it was for him to see 4 of his players get named to the team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, it's just, the All-Star honors is just so meaningful, I think, as a player. And we get a chance to see the work that goes in every day and how much they devote to this game and to see that get rewarded in some way is huge, and all these guys are so well deserved of their honors. And there's more guys in there that you wish you could send all of them because they all work hard and they all fight hard, as we talk about. So, but it's a great group. It's nice to have 4 guys go from the same team. I remember as a player going and having 4 other teammates with me and just sharing it with your guys is a huge part of it. And so really excited for those guys and the fact that they'll have each other as they go through the whole thing.
It is pretty cool, and it was cool to see. I didn't get a chance to catch up with Andres, but they brought Wu into the room to talk, and you could just, he was subdued, but it was cool to hear him talking about the reaction from his family. Like, so what did they say? He said there was a lot of screaming, and yelling. And here's a clip. I'm not sure if this is the one, but he's talking about his family's reaction to him being selected for the All-Star game.
Yeah, a lot of screaming, not a lot of words at first. But they were super excited, obviously super proud. I think obviously we're all kind of hoping, but like I said before, you kind of, there's not really a whole lot you can do about it, so kind of just hope. And but yeah, they're super excited. Obviously they've been, them, my sister, girlfriend, family, everybody has been super supportive, and they're a big reason why I feel like I've been able to do what I do. So yeah, this is just as important for them as it is for me.
It's pretty cool. Imagine your kid calling you up, say Jake was a football player or a baseball player, and hey, Dad, I made the Pro Bowl or I made the All-Star game. I mean, you're already proud that they're in the league and doing what they do, but just that's got to be a cool, obviously a cool individual moment for Wu, but it was just, I don't know, just looking at his face when he was talking about it, there's a lot of screaming, not a lot of words initially, and, just how much it meant. And he's having 17 starts of 6 innings or more. Yeah. Every single start, he's got a 2.77 ERA. He's been phenomenal, and he deserves it.
He really has. Just 19 walks in all of those innings. I mean,
104 strikeouts.
Ridiculous.
And Munoz looks so sharp this weekend. Man, he was good. But yeah, he absolutely deserves it. It was pretty cool at the stadium for those that were there. They saw it, but when they were making the announcements over the loudspeaker during the game, camera would zoom in, and there's Munoz popping his head over the fence in the bullpen. Waving. He's so endearing. He's just hey, it was pretty cool. And I
think it was an interview with Jen, or maybe it was Shannon, where somebody asked, is Matilda going to the All-Star games? Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so cool. But he's 21 saves this year. He's got an ERA of 1.06. He's been as locked down as you could hope for. He's been brilliant, and he deserves it.
Hey, let me ask this question. If Matt Brash starts off the season, do you think he gets selected?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been unbelievable. Now, I don't know that, he would have these numbers. But
just if you extrapolate those out and say this is who he is, but he started game one to this point, he's pitched like he has. Absolutely,
he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he'd be phenomenal, but he doesn't have enough time there.
Yeah.
One more from Brian Wu, just talking about if he ever envisioned himself making the All-Star team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that you don't know, obviously when or if it's going to happen, but you also don't really plan on anything else. You work, as hard as you can, and wouldn't say expect those things, but you would hope that the consistency and the work over the years, and that will kind of all manifest itself into something that something like this. So it's kind of just like the last couple of weeks, it's like if it happens, great, but if not, I'm just going to kind of keep working, and it'll happen in the next couple of years whenever it is. So obviously super grateful for the opportunity, and but I think just kind of try to enjoy it as much as I can. I feel like you work so hard to do something like this, and definitely try to not let it pass me by. Just enjoy it. It'll be really fun to share it with everybody else, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, if Jake made the Pro Bowl and I couldn't, I wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah. You'd be jealous?
No.
You'd be like,
no,
well, lucky you.
Yeah. His family, there's nothing better than having one of your kids.
They asked him about his dad, because they always show his dad on camera, and like, hey, do you think your dad's going to get some good TV time or something? He goes, oh, man, I hope not. He's had enough, or something like that. Joking around, obviously, but it was it was cool to see that. And then the surprise was Julio. We're all looking at his season, feeling like, this is not representative of the talent he possesses. He's not. He had a nice double yesterday. I will say that. He hit the ball hard, which was great to see. But overall, he had 3 hits. He was 3 for 28 in this. Cal had 3 hits as well, except his were all home runs.
Yeah.
Julio had 3 hits, a double and 2 singles. And, I was going to the park yesterday feeling like, man, they got to drop him in the order. And he comes up with a double, which, okay, that's good. But I'm still was looking like, you drop him down to 5, 6 in the order? Do you give him a day off? What do you do? How do you get him right?
Well, was it kind of bizarre that, you're thinking drop him down in the order to try to get him going, and then they announce that he's an all-star?
I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was stunned, but I think they're looking at his WAR number, because if you compare him to other American League center fielders, he's got the best WAR number. Now, that includes his defense, and that's where all of that's coming from. He's got the second best WAR on this team.
Right.
Cal's 1 at 4.7. Julio's number 2 at 3.4.
Well, and sometimes you hate all the stats and everything, but wins above replacement accounts for things like that, and he should be appreciated that way. It's just, he just seemed like he was late on a few of the strikeouts, and
he was a brutal one with the bases loaded. He had a center cut 93-mile-an-hour fastball that he got beat by, and then a 94-mile-an-hour center cut fastball he got beat by. So, and I was hearing from some people on Twitter, you guys are always picking on him, blah, blah, blah. Oh, stop it with your tenderness. Stop with your fragility.
Well, it seems like you either get that or you get the other extreme.
That we're not hard enough on him. It's like, no, these are facts. This is not even an opinion. These are his numbers. This is what he's done in these situations. He struck center cut fastball 93. He's getting beat. Okay? That's not me, and that's giving you an opinion. That's what happened. Those are the facts. I'm sorry if it's hard to hear that. He's the face of the franchise to this point. Now, Cal is assuming that role, but this is the guy you built around. This is the guy you propped up as your superstar, and I love the kid. I root for him every time he steps up to the plate. So, but you got to tell the whole story. I don't understand that, and it's a select few, but it's, people, you're always picking on him, and I was like, okay, all right. But, good on him. He made it, but I think it's safe to say he made it because of his defense. He's a tremendous outfielder. That's the other thing. I'll see people out there. He's not that good of an outfielder. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is that good. He's an incredible outfielder.
Well, and at the end of the year, we'll remember, if it keeps going the way it has, the one where he looked confused in center field.
Yeah, that one I don't know.
But
what the heck that was.
that's one.
Yeah. All right, coming up, looking at the Seahawks. Do they have one of the best running backs in the NFL? Find out. Talk about that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
I'm leaning a little bit more into that Bregman train.
I think there's a question of could versus should versus would. Could they? Sure. Should they? Absolutely. Would they? We get back to the same question that we do every offseason. Would the Mariners go out and spend real money on a guy? Up to this point, they have not shown a willingness to do that.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, have you been considering surgery or even joint replacement? It's Dave Wyman here, and after years of football, I know all about bad knees. So I recently had a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I've heard so many patients rave about stem cell therapy with Dr. Wagner. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone. They're back hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, even just going up and down the stairs, playing with the grandkids, and doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, which can regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 25,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Do you have a car you'd like to sell but don't want to go through all the hassle? With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people are uncomfortable selling their own car. So how do you get the most money for your used car without selling it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your car and pay you right up front for it, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share half the profit with you. The question I get most from my friends and colleagues is, what's the catch? And how can they offer this? It's super simple. All the money they save by not traveling to buy cars at auctions, like purchase fees, shipping, and travel expenses, is what allows them to offer this. They'd rather share that money they save with you than outside vendors. They encourage you to shop around, but if Wayscar Ford can pay you the same or more as their competitors and then share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you sell your car anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with customers, and it's only at Wayscar Ford. That's wayscarford.com. Wayscar Ford in Auburn.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Crank up the hits and bring on the boom. It's 80s fireworks night at T-Mobile Park. Get ready for a totally tubular show on Friday, July 18th. Presented by T-Mobile. The Mariners face off against the division rival Astros at 7:10. And after the game, the sky will light up to the sound of your favorite 80s jams. Big hits on the field and more big hits after dark.
Grand slam! Julio takes it deep and clears it off.
Mariners baseball, fireworks, and hair metal? Sounds like a rad night. Lock in your seats now at Mariners.com and check out what else is on deck at the ballpark this summer, including 3 straight value games against the Brewers, July 21st through 23rd. And the next Mariners fireworks show on August 1st.
Goodbye, baseball. He does it again. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Rowley, the big dumper.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. ESPN is doing their yearly offseason look at the best in the NFL, position by position. And they talk to league executives, coaches, scouts, and they rank the top 10 at any given position. And today's list is running backs. So before we get into the list, do you think there's a Seahawks running back that should crack the top 10?
No.
Then you won't be disappointed by this list.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk next year. Well, we'll see. But I mean, there were times. I mean, really, the Charbonnet game at Arizona. That was where it was like just a steady flow of production.
Right, and that was kind of it.
That was it.
Yeah, I'll start from the bottom. I know you like to go from the top, but coming in at number 10 is Alvin Kamara.
You're going the wrong way.
Number 9 is Joe Mixon. Number 8 is James Cook. Number 7 is Jonathan Taylor. Number 6 is Josh Jacobs. Number 5, Christian McCaffrey. Number 4, Bijan Robinson. Number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 2, Derrick Henry. And obviously number 1 is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They also had a few honorable mentions, and at the very end, they tell us players who also received votes. Ken Walker was the final name of the final category.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have a problem with that. And that's not really a knock on that. I mean, the line was so bad last year. The run game was non-existent. So I would have been stunned to see anybody associated with the Seahawks run game on this list because it was so bad. So, yeah, I think that's a fair list. You can argue who should be higher than the other on that top 10, but the fact that there are no Seahawks in there, I couldn't imagine upsetting any Seahawks fan.
Well, what were they, 26th or 28th as far as their run game goes, ranking-wise in the NFL? So, yeah, they just didn't have – I mean, there There were a number of games where it's like, okay, they just have to desert the run. They can't move their line and, the opponent. And, it was just it's kind of interesting looking at this list because, if you look at, like, Barkley and, Derrick Henry, the guy that I saw last year that was the most impressive, and I was like, oh, I wish we had that guy on our team, was Bijan Robinson. Watching him in Atlanta, and I don't even know. I can't remember if he lit up the stats or not, but it was it was just, he was impressive, man. I mean, he's got power, he's got burst, he's got some shake, and then the other guy that would probably fit most likely in this offense would be Alvin Kamara, just because reception wise, I think he was the number 2 running back in the league as far as 543 yards. So I think his total, I think he had around 990 or something. So, he's right around, or I think it was like 890, but right around like 1,400 yards.
By the way, Bijan against the Seahawks, 21 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good performance, no question. You do that every time, you're probably going to the Pro Bowl. But, I just thought his shake and everything, watched him pass block a couple of times. He just seemed like a complete back. But, you look at that list, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, he's made some of the best plays. 5. Yeah.
It's pretty interesting how many of these guys are on different teams, though.
Yeah.
Like, right, these aren't the teams they came up with in most cases. Joe Mixon is with the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs is with the Packers. McCaffrey with the 49ers. Henry with the Ravens. Barkley with the Eagles. They all were on different teams.
Right.
But they're still out there doing it, still out there producing and making, cracking this list here.
Yeah. Number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. I thought he was impressive, too.
Yeah.
He's a Detroit Lion. But we're not playing. Are we playing the Lions this year, finally? Not playing them?
I don't know.
Seems like
at the
we've gotten
schedule.
there.
Why speculate?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're not playing Detroit. But, yeah, I mean, it just seems like that was one that was always on the docket. But, yeah.
No Lions.
Just looking at this list, yeah, I mean, I think Alvin Kamara is probably he's got some wear on his tread, but he also is just very versatile. I mean, he's a good receiver. So, but, yeah, I don't feel squeezed there at all as far as, this. And it wasn't, I don't think it had that much to do with K9 and Charbonnet. I think it had more than anything to do with just there were lots of times where they just couldn't run the ball, and so they had to give it up. No, we're not running the ball.
They just bailed on it.
We're going to put it in Geno's hands, and makes it even more impressive. I know there's lots of complaints about Geno, but he was up around, 69% completion?
Yeah, I think he might have ended 70.
Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, I mean, I think he was top 5 as far as attempts. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. I like those two guys, but in this situation, I can't make a case that either one of those guys are top 10 based on their performance last year.
Yeah, let me see. Geno was 70.4. 70.4% last year.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And, yeah, you look at attempts.
He was
fourth.
Fourth at 407, tied for fourth with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they had to throw the ball. So, yeah, the running back, I mean, I'm looking for big things from these guys, and hopefully this new offense will get these guys going. I think K9 is going to be really good for that sort of wide zone stretch. You give him, I mean, I have seen him hit gaps that are like half the size of a normal gap. I mean, he is just awesome at squeezing through and just, being able to find space to run. And now you get it out on the edge and you get bigger gaps, more chance for him to do what he does best, and that's make people miss.
All right, coming up, we're going to ask Ryan Rowland-Smith about how our 4th of July celebrations are similar to his yearly Australia Day party. All right, I guess that's what we're asking him. Stay tuned for that. He's going to join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner.
Bryan
Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row.
Julio
Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4 from the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and security edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The countdown is on.
16 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get the day off today, a well-deserved day off today after 17 consecutive days in a row playing a game, and they went 11-6 in that time. They go 5-2 on the 7-game homestand, so 6 games left before the All-Star break, starting with 3 in New York, followed by 3 in Detroit. So they begin that starting tomorrow. They've got 4 All-Stars now on that roster. In addition to Cal Raleigh, they made the announcement yesterday that Bryan, Andres Munoz, and Julio Rodriguez will all be part of the All-Star festivities. Meanwhile, a little note out of the NBA. Pacers have confirmed today that their star point guard Tyrese Halliburton will miss the entire 2025-26 season after surgery to repair that torn right Achilles tendon that he suffered in Game 7 of the NBA Finals last month.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always has your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on, because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. You guys don't listen when I speak. I'm talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
He's here, everybody, every Monday. He joins us for a conversation about the world of baseball, the Seattle Mariners. You know him, you love him. He joins us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is Ryan Rowland-Smith. How are you, man?
Fantastic, fellas. Just got done doing my next-gen baseball camp, day 1, and now I get a chance to talk to you guys, so I'm fired up. Good day.
What a perfect day for it. It's beautiful outside, and where is it? Is it sold out? Can people still sign up for it?
They can still sign up. I've still got another 3 weeks after this, and by the way, I didn't plan this. I wasn't trying to come on here and plug the camps by any means, but I appreciate it. But we're out in Bellevue for week 1. Epic camp today. Weather was great. It was literally, it took us about 2 hours to get into it because I was just telling stories about getting trapped in bullpen bathrooms, and the kids loved it.
The kids loved it.
Kids love it. Adults love it. We all love that story.
Yeah. Is there an age limit? I mean, can a guy in his 50s and 60s sign up?
They can come listen to the epic stories. No, I'm kidding. No, sometimes I get on the chat when we first start, and the kids are looking at me like, dude, can we just go out and run around and throw a baseball already?
Can you stop talking already? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, what a tremendous series. I would imagine you, as a former professional pitcher, had a great appreciation for what we saw in these 3 games against Pittsburgh, and everybody will chime in with, they're not very good. Their offenses, look, they're pro ball players, man, and to do what that rotation did, what that bullpen did, that was phenomenal, those 3 games.
Yeah, well, first of all, they went 6-0 before that series, the Pirates, and they outscored their opponents 43-4 or something ridiculous like that. And so, they're legit, by the way. Offensively, the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, they were on a tear. So going into that series after you split with the Kansas City Royals, I'm thinking to myself, man, this might be a tough one. But just in regards to, the starting rotation, right? I mean, how many times have we said that this team, good things happen when this team pitches, and wasn't a whole lot of offense the last couple of days, but I think Luis Castillo and Bryan, man, they've just been so good. And I'll be honest with you, with Luis Castillo, I'll admit this, a little bit above my expectations, because I was wondering, especially in the month of April, all right, is this where maybe we see a little bit of drop off in regards to not so much swing and miss. I think he's a little bit different to when we first got him, the way he kind of goes about hitters. But is there going to be a drop-off in how deep he gets into games. Is it going to be a drop-off in third time through the order, which he's been one of the best in baseball third time through. He gets through that fourth inning, man. It is extremely tough against Luis Castillo. And then, of course, Bryan Wu, man, like, so happy for him. He so deserves to make that all-star team. I feel like the numbers don't do him justice. And then yesterday, George Kirby, man, look, that's the best George has looked all year, period, right?
You think that was better than the Angels game?
Dude, for a couple of reasons. Number one, look, you talk about the offense, right? So he had, with the Angels, it was all righties. And so same breaking ball as that Angels game. But the way he went about on the inside half of the plate against lefties and how he finally got that splitter in a couple big counts, to me, that is, A, more important, and B, to have that left-handed threat against him, he neutralized that. And that righty start he had, yeah, he was great. Punched out 14 hitters. I get it. But I'm talking about the fact that, man, if you're going to have a good 4 or 5 lefties in the lineup, what are you going to do against George Kirby? And you go back a couple starts ago, he was very hittable, and he was very manageable when you got with traffic. And the difference was, A, what he did to lefties was epic, and number 2, what he did with runners in scoring position. When he was on the ropes, he got out of the strike zone finally. He wasn't in the middle of the plate. I just thought he looked so good, man. This is such a good sign to have him doing what he did in that Game 3.
Hey, Bryan Wu, just talk about some of the – I was talking to Charlie Furbush about this, that, like, I thought maybe in my third year was when I really felt like a pro, but you just look at the way that Bryan Wu has settled into being a major league pitcher. I mean, it's just the way he carries himself, and he's got a ton more confidence, and it just, those, sort of immeasurables to me have really stood out with him. What have you noticed?
I mean, where do I start, man? Like, and again, I really like this dude. Speaking of camps, he's going to host a camp for me, so that helps in regards to my opinion for him because he's so into it, man. Like, I keep saying, hey, man, I don't want you to rock up and high five. He's so into it. But just when I watch him go about his business, man, like, okay, a couple things. And we actually had him on the broadcast, man. Goldie had him on in the second inning. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this out at him. I said to him, hey, look, you and Cal had a conversation at some point. I tried to keep it because, remember, it's in the middle of the game. I don't want to make it out like Cal was getting on him or anything like that. It's in the middle of the game. It's supposed to be a little bit sort of more on the not generic side, but just let him talk. You haven't got a whole lot of time. But I was like, you know what? Screw this. I said, hey, man, what was the conversation like when Cal pulled you aside? And he just flat out just was so transparent, humble. And he just said, yeah, he goes, it was in Boston. He went into specifics. It was in Boston. Cal pulled me aside and said, listen, you got to step it up. Like, you have to, you're really good, and you have to step it up. You can't keep going out and doing this. Hey, I need to get skipped. Hey, I can only go short in this one. Oh, I'm tight in between innings, right? So that's number one. I think he's gotten to this point now where it's like, all right, I'm going to prove to you that I can go 6 months of baseball. I can go 6+ every time out. You don't have to, have a situation where you have to cut me off at 80 pitches here and there. You don't have to add in that extra off day for me. I'm good. And I'm just going to carry myself in a completely different light. And the other part of this is too, man, listen, we talk about the 70% fastball usage. And the 70% fastball usage literally at the top of the strike zone. Like, that's it. So if you're a hitter, you're like, all right, I'm going to hunt something middle up. And if I feel like I'm on it, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Well, usually what happens is when that happens, pitches all of a sudden, you start seeing way more 2-0, 2-1 counts, 3-1 counts, because they're picking up on what the hitter's doing, and they start pitching away from contact. He has this stubbornness, just like George Kirby does, where it's like, no, this is my strength, and you're not going to do a whole lot with it. And when you're talking and making that split-second decision or in the middle of the game with a runner on second, he just gets after it. And I just love that about him, man. He just has it's not a loud sort of presence about him. It's his presence where it's like, I am in complete control. You know what's coming, and you're not going to do a whole lot about it. And real quick on this one, too, if I don't get a chance to talk about it later, I would have been really upset if he didn't make the All-Star game. Now, I think he had 3 outings where he gave up 3. It wasn't that long ago. He gave up 3, then he gave up 4, then he gave up 5. I think it was like on that D-backs road trip, whatever it was. And I was looking at those starts and going, man, this may derail him making a team, because when you look at some of the numbers that really stand out, and when guys are sort of putting it down who haven't seen him like we do every single day, then you look at that and say, all right, he's hovering around the 10, 12 mark in the league on some of these categories. But when you take a little bit of a deeper dive, the fact that he is literally every fifth day going out and going 6, 7 innings with some of the efficiency, the way he's just absolutely dominating lineups and all the other things that go into it, man, I've seen to myself, God, these 3 starts going to keep me out of that All-Star game, because he is literally, you ask anyone around the league, he's been one of the most dominant presence as a starting pitcher. So I'm so happy for him, man. It's awesome.
How funny was it yesterday, Ryan, when they were making the announcements there in the building, and Munoz gets announced, and you see his head just kind of pop up over that fence out there, and he's just kind of waving. He's just so endearing. He looked like a little kid, like, hey, everybody, cool, this is cool. He was this big smile on his face, and you can't help but love the guy. But how sharp was he this weekend? He looked as good as he's looked all year to me. What did you see?
Dude, that second night, I mean, and I've said this to you guys before. I don't know if it's like on air or whatever, but we've talked about it, right? When he lands that slider of his, which hitters are hitting like 050 against, when he early in counts can land that pitch in the strike zone, you have got literally no chance, because you've now all of a sudden I've got to try and defend against a running fastball in on the hands, kind of like very similar. Like Vargas has that really good, dumping that bowling ball sinker. Well, Munoz has that. You just don't see it as much. Oh, and by the way, you've got to defend against 2 different sliders, one that stays in the strike zone and the other that just has a Matt Brash effect where it just takes a left-hand turn. And you saw that too. That second night against the Pirates, some of those swings, and by the way, McCutchen.
Yeah.
I mean, McCutchen's in his mid-30s, and he's someone who has such a good feel and such a good plan coming up, former MVP. And he has, and I love watching McCutchen hit. I didn't talk about it much on the broadcast, but I love watching him hit, man. And I loved it when he was in a Pirates uniform, and then he went off and played a couple other places. But I'm watching that. When you see swings, the way McCutchen, some of those swings, that tells you everything you need to know. That's flat out, all right, I feel like I see it, and I feel like I'm hunting this pitch in this spot. And then the last minute, that's like the swing he took, I think it was like one of the second or third pitch, whatever it was, flat out tells you that, yeah, all right, I know where you're going to throw this pitch. I'm hunting this pitch, but there is nothing I can do with it. And so he was so good, man. Munoz has been just absolutely electric, and he's such a good dude. I mean, I loved talking to him, man. He's the most humble, down-to-earth, epic dude. I'm not a big cat guy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big cat person, to be honest with you. But that's okay. You can have that. That's fine with his whole cat charity he's got going on. I wish it was dogs. No, I'm kidding. But, he's just a good dude.
Yeah, no, I love that he, even...
By the way, me saying that, he just lost hundreds of thousands in his cat charity fundraising, thanks to me, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. Sorry, Munoz. Yeah, right.
I'm not sure if you're quite there yet, Hyphen. Not
yeah. Pretty sure I'm not.
Hey, let me ask you this question yesterday, and I thought it was just a split-second thing, and somebody texted in about JP not sliding at home, and to me, I always go, hey, everything happens so fast out there that, it looked like he might have had one plan, and then all of a sudden, it kind of played out, and it looked, because I've had plays like that before where it's like, oh, man, that looked like this, a dirty hit or whatever. And it's like, hey, when you're out there and everything is happening, what was your reaction to that play?
First of all, Dave, thank you so much for putting this question on a tee for me, because I copped it yesterday on social media. No, I didn't cop it, but everyone was hitting me up on social media about this. And I'll get to the final answer and the thing that should have happened at the end. So a couple things on that one. First of all, you've got a situation where O'Neill Cruz, yes, he throws 105 miles an hour from center field. But accuracy, not all the way there, man. He basically threw a perfect throw. That's number one. Number two, you're facing Paul Skeens, right? So you're going to push the envelope, even if you're out by a mile, especially in the first inning, right? If it's later in the game and you got some traffic and you can put some pressure on, fair enough. But the next guy's not coming up bunting in that situation. So you're going to push it a little bit. But, and I I didn't want to say this on the broadcast because, I didn't want to say it, right? But one more thing before I get to my big punchline here, which no one probably cares about.
Boy, you're really building this up.
This better be good.
It better be good, and your listeners can text in and agree with me or disagree, whatever. But yeah, you're right, Dave. He was caught in between in regards to coming around, and it's like, man, I think I'm walking home. Man, I should have slid. Now, the reason why he should have slid, excuse me. The reason why he came around and was so late to commit to sliding is because if you're the on-deck hitter, and I'm telling you, Randy Arozarena will be the first to tell you, if you have any 50-50 second guessing that the guy's going to cut it or not, you have to tell the guy to get down and slide. The only time you have to show him something. You have to put your hands up to be like, hey, you're all good, stand up. That means there's no chance the ball's going to be anywhere near the plate. If not, the other one, you don't just stand there. You've got two options. The other one is you get on your knee and you go down, 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 two hands on the deck. Randy was kind of watching the play, got caught sort of, not doing that. And that cost JP that run at home. Now, granted, Randy came up and hit a bomb and the rest is history. Right. But Randy will be the first to tell you that, man. Or Christopher Negron will be the first to tell you, hey, look, when you're the on-deck hitter, you've got two options. One, hands up, hey, you're all good. Because you 100% that ball's been cut 2 years ago, or if not, you're saying down, down, down because there's a play happening. So that's the bottom line there.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I was saying the same thing. I mean, the runner's got the play behind him, so you're relying on that on-deck hitter to tell you what's going on. JP's not looking back behind him at the ball. He should have slid on his own, but yeah, you're looking for guidance like a base coach, right? When you're rounding third, the play's behind you. So
100%. And by the way, Henry Davis, give him some credit. He deked him like crazy. Like he really deked him.
Yeah, he did a good job with that.
Yeah,
he did. And by the way, that's another thing we didn't get into yesterday. If anyone's saying, oh well, hey, look, he couldn't straddle the plate. Well, his feet are behind. That's the new tactic now for catchers. If you're in a situation where you want to quote unquote block the plate but not block the plate, you just slide your feet back a little bit, and that's exactly what he did too. So I think JP was looking, going, hold on. When he saw Henry Davis, in front of the plate, he's like, hold on, I need a lane here. Because usually you come up and you kind of pick your lane depending on where the catch is set up as well. So that was the other part of it as well.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
I was
not sure why you're laughing.
I knew you were going to ask me. Look, I'm stoked for him. The fact the Mariners have got 4 players in the All-Star game tells you that the Mariners, and big thanks to Cal Rowley, are getting national attention where you push outside of when you're talking votes and everything else that goes into it, that you push outside of your region. That's massive. Now, in regards to some other center fielders on some other teams, I would be a little, if I was them, I'd be a little upset. I'm not going to lie. There was when you look at, you put some of the more advanced numbers, some of the more traditional numbers. There's some guys up there. I'll throw Joe Adell up there. I'll throw Trent Grisham, Buxton. Obviously, not the obvious, but some of the not so much obvious center fielders. So I'm happy for him. And look, Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence that he can walk out of the All-Star game and go, yeah, I'm a dude and everything else, which is great. So I'm stoked he made it. Now, I will say this. I always look at this a couple different ways with some of these selections, right? You never want a situation like, how did that guy not make it? That is a joke, right? You'd rather a situation like, oh, great, yes, he made it, awesome, tip your cap, fans are paying attention, people who are voting around the league pay attention, whatnot. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. J.P. has had an unbelievable year. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on base that he has, and by the way, some of the hits, especially in the last month or so, when it really counts, and some of the field coverage and everything that goes with it. Now, defense, he slips behind some of those guys. Oh, and by the way, Jeremy Pena's just hit the IL.
Yeah,
I thought JP had a bigger case. Now, Julio and JP, nationally speaking, JP hasn't built up the same rapport with national, whether it's in the game or fans, like whether it's in-house or fans, he hasn't built up the same sort of, stardom that Julio has. So I get that. But I think JP, looking at the raw, what he's done this year, what he's meant for this team, had a really good case. But look, hey, we've got 4 All-Stars. That's huge. That's massive. And I'm telling you, you talk to anyone who goes to that game, whether it be a Brian Wu or Julio, Cal, or Logan last year, you go there, you come out, and you feel like you're a dude. And I'll be honest with you, Julio, look, he needs that, man. He get out of there, and you're kind of in Cal's shadow a little bit right now. Go to the All-Star game, get recognized as being a dude, come out in that second half and just go off. So it's great, man, that we got 4 All-Stars. First time since 2018, so I'm stoked about that.
Well, real quick, Ryan, on Julio, I was driving out there yesterday thinking they need to drop him in the order. They need to give him a day off, something to get him going. And then he did hit. I did love seeing him square up that double. He hit that ball hard off of Skeens, which was great to see. And he had some tough strikeouts again. So I don't know where he's at. He still looks. I mean, the other night he got beat by a 93-mile-an-hour center cut fastball, and then followed up with a 94-mile-an-hour center cut fastball, and he's late on both of them. I'm just looking at it going, he's out of sorts, man. So would you drop him down in the order? Would you give him a day off? How would you, I don't know, work with what's not going right with him?
Well, I say this to you guys all the time. I love the continuity of the lineup every single day. I love that. Like, if guys, look, if Polanco's hitting, in spot A and Julio's in spot B and blah, 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 down the order, and you want to stick with that, then that's going to be the long term because you know exactly who you're hitting after. So I do like that. Now, Polanco, I think, starting to show you a little bit more. He's getting the ball off the ground. He's starting to swing the way better. So if you have more of a threat in Polanco, maybe you can think about it. I don't know if it's a situation long term where you want to start putting him down the order. I honestly like the continuity. And by the way, real quick, I know you guys are going to go to selling Bob Stelton's vision.
Yeah, you took too long.
He had something good. There. He couldn't get to it, man.
Real quick, hey, Julio got punched out by Skeens. What do you do next at bat? Said, all right, you're going to throw that fastball middle away? Thanks. And he adjusted and he ripped it in the right center field. Good sign for there. But that's all I got. There you go. I'll wrap it up.
Oh, man.
Ryan, we appreciate you, man. This is always great stuff.
Always good.
Have a great week, and we'll talk again next week.
Sounds good. Listen, I look forward to you guys giving a speech at my camp tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to the kids. A motivational speech, Dave Wyman, talking about his football days. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to hear about that. That's for sure.
They'll be dazzled. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan.
See you guys.
There you go. There's Ryan Rowland-Smith with us each and every Monday, presented by Mazda of Everett. Coming up, we'll hear what MLB Network's Adnan Virk said about the Mariners trade deadline and playoff hopes. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner. Bryan Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row. Julio Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the Big Dumper.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star Four. From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I want to talk to you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. In fact, you heard Ryan Rowland-Smith trying to make a joke about it in the last segment. Didn't do it very well, but nonetheless, I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, if you're like me and you're somebody that had a pair of readers in every room of the house, in your car, and if you walked into a restaurant without them, you couldn't read the menu, couldn't read the receipt, or you're somebody that struggles with your distance vision, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and, more importantly, your permanent solution. And here's the real cherry on top. You're never going to develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without readers. And again, now I can read menus. Now I can read receipts, all those little simple things we take for granted. And RLE is an absolute game changer. And now I'm excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that is permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision RLE have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so I think they know when RLE is right for you. In fact, I know they do. You can schedule your free, operative word being free, Zoom consultation today. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE, no readers, no glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Again, that's K2VisionRLE.com.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, two-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It, really it felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Ryan Rowland-Smith. The comedy stylings of Ryan Rowland-Smith in the previous segment.
So funny, man.
Oh, he whiffed. He was trying.
Yeah, we were texting back and forth, and at one point, he said he was going to make a joke there. He goes, I had nothing.
He was just going to talk until something came out. So great. But if you guys missed any part of our conversation with Ryan Rowland-Smith in the previous segment, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, one of his co-workers there at MLB Network, talking about Ryan Rowland-Smith, Adnan Virk is the guy I'm talking about. He was on with Brock and Salk this morning, talked about a few different things, and they got into just the season for the Mariners and the baseball in general, and why so many teams are kind of middling. A lot of middling teams that are in it, but nobody's running away with it.
Overall, Mike, I think what's happened is that the big market teams are really, really good, and that's been good for baseball. But to your point, who's the dominant team? The best team right now is the Detroit Tigers. I'm not saying they're a small market team. They've loved baseball in 125 years of Tigers baseball. They're on pace to win 105 games. They've never done that ever before. So Detroit might be the best team in baseball. The Dodgers, even with all their starting pitcher injuries, still have the best record in the National League. They're a little better than the Phillies, a little bit better than the Cubs. Mets in that mix as well. But I think that's what's making this year so exciting, is that there is no clear-cut favorite, even those who thought the Dodgers would win 120 games or something ridiculous at the start of the year.
Oh, great. We're headed there. He likes Detroit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at their record. They're a good team. They're very good. Are they dominant? Are they... I mean, at times they've looked it, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's just, and more specifically in the American League, that there's just that team that you're looking at going, oh man, who beats those guys? Who are you going to put against that team that's going to give you a chance? So it's open, but the downside of that as we approach the trade deadline is everybody's in it, or they believe they're in it. So the idea of them unloading consequential players, Maybe they're looking to buy. Maybe there's a lot more buyers because they all feel like they're in it as opposed to sellers.
Yeah, that's the thing that's frustrating about it. And then, yeah, I'm going to be very curious to see how they approach that, and if they do actually, make trades of maybe guys that are on the roster, or looking at what they have 9 players I think in the top 100 as far as prospects go. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking that if that's going to cloud it up even more, I think they're unlikely to do anything that's significant that we've talked about anyway, right? Like we've talked about O'Hearn at first base. We've talked about Eugenio Suarez. I mean,
well, those shouldn't be out of the question moves, though.
Yeah, they shouldn't be.
If those guys are available now, Suarez may not be, because the Diamondbacks could feel like we're still in this thing. We're winning games. We're still in this thing. So maybe they don't unload those guys, even though they're in the final year of their deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm more negative, I guess. I guess I'm being doomsday Dave, but I don't know.
You're preparing yourself for the Mariners to get nothing?
Yes. No, I mean, I think they'll get a bullpen arm, which is always welcome. They always do a great job with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, those guys can't hit.
No.
And you just had back-to-back games where you put up one run in each game.
Right.
It's still a problem. Yeah, I too think they need a bullpen arm. Absolutely. You need bats. You need offense.
Yeah.
You don't have it
on
a consistent basis. So go get it. And it's very easy to say. We'll see what's available and what the cost is going to be. But
it kind of stood out with Cal. I mean, he gets 3 hits, but they're all home runs. I mean, just unsustainable, I guess, comes to mind.
Virk went on to talk about the Mariners and saying he hopes they get some bats, but thinks they will get that last AL wildcard spot.
So, unfortunately, it's gone back to Brock, what we see in the past, which is now the Mariners can pitch. Do they have enough offense? They win 1-0 yesterday. Thankfully, Arozarena went deep. But, God, I wish they could go and get some bats, man. I look at this offense, and even with Julio Rodriguez being an all-star, even with Raleigh having a storybook season, Polanco, by the way, has gone from really starting out so strong to then slumping again. They don't have enough depth in their lineup. It feels like to me, and I hate to say it, I want to see Seattle make the World Series and win a World Series. It still feels like the Astros win that division. Here's the good news. There's only 6 teams above 500 in the American League. It's a bad league. Mariners will get that last wild card.
Yeah, it's not a great year for the American League, which opens it up for a lot of teams. And like the Mariners, you feel like, okay, right now they got a 2.5 game lead. They've got that third wild card spot. Hopefully they can hang on to that. Again, I'm waiting for the Astros to come back to earth a bit because they just keep winning, and that it's been a 7-game spread. It feels like forever that they're not giving up any ground at all. They've won 8 of 10. Mariners have won 7 of 10.
Yeah.
So they're just having a hard time closing that gap at all with the Astros, at least to this point.
Yeah, and they've got some guys on the IL.
Oh
too,
yeah, they're missing key guys. Good on them, man. They keep figuring out ways to get it done. So I'll give them that credit.
Somebody called them the zombie Astros on MLB Network because they refuse to die.
They won't. It's really, really frustrating. Virk talked about the trade deadline and what I was just saying, actually, talking about it's concerning because a lot of teams should be selling that don't seem to want to sell.
If you're not 500 by July 31st, sell, get some assets. But all these teams, they delude themselves into thinking, well, we're just one 7-game winning streak away from being that third wild card spot. And so all of them should sell. Quite frankly, Baltimore should absolutely sell. I'll go with them first because you're going to be last place in the AL East, and you're not turning things around anytime soon. You thought for years you'd be a dominant powerhouse after stinking up the joint, and guess what? You didn't focus on enough pitching. Arizona absolutely should sell. You're not going to catch the Dodgers, Giants, or Padres. You're not going to get every playoff team from the NL West, aside from the Rockies, making it. So they should trade Eugenio Suarez to the Seattle Mariners. Say, give me one of those pitchers. Give me George Kirby. Go ahead. Give me one of those guys because Suarez right now is top 3 in RBIs and in home runs. Josh Naylor, Mississauga, Ontario, love him. He should be available. They should trade Zach Gallen. He's going to be a free agent. But I don't think any of those teams sell. That's the problem. We're going to be looking at literally Sandy Alcantara and like the Pirates trading Bailey Falter. I'm concerned.
That was a lot of words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather have Eugenio Suarez or Ryan O'Hearn?
Suarez.
Just because you know him and he's...
just his production numbers. And he's how he functions here. We don't know how somebody else hits in this park and it gets in people's heads and whether it's fact, whether it's not. I think it is a fact, certainly early in the season when it's cold, the ball does not carry as well. It's certainly a pitcher's park. It is harder to hit here. It's not impossible, but, Adnan talked about that. He talked to Jerry DiPoto, and according to Jerry, T-Mobile Park, in his opinion, isn't hard to hit in the summer.
I'm glad you mentioned the ballpark, Mike. I met Jerry DiPoto last year at the winter meetings, and I said to him, it must be such a challenge for you to sign hitters. Like, Seattle is a gorgeous place to visit, and it's a great pitcher's park, but offense, he goes, well, I'll tell you this. He goes, in the summer, the ball does travel. And I go, come on. And he's like, no. He goes, listen, look at the numbers. He goes, April, May, no question about it. It's a challenge. But he goes, June, July, August, the ball travels well. So I am going to be looking at the numbers this year, Mike. Let's see how the Mariners' offense improves this summer. See if Jerry's onto something.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that the numbers are there. I'm just wondering, which ones and how that works.
They're not there enough to say, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't need any bats. Ball's going to start carrying. So some of those warning track shots are going to now leave the yard, and we're going to be just fine. No.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are. No doubt it travels better when it's warmer out. It's true anywhere.
Right. Well, and and also I would feel more excited if Julio was hitting him to the wall or hitting him to the warning track, but that's not what's happening.
No, he actually did. What was it? 2-3 games ago, he had a couple that he got to the warning track, but he got under him. You could tell they weren't leaving, but they got to the warning track. I mean, we're looking for small victories here.
Right.
I was just happy he got the ball in the air.
I think that was in the Texas series, maybe. Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Kansas City. I think it was against the Royals. He did. But I mean, come on, man. If we're tracking his fly balls, and we're in a rough spot.
That's right.
So, hopefully he gets going because we've seen him do it. And it can just be absolutely huge, to this lineup. I mean, I'm not counting on, much like you, I'm not counting on a huge move. I will be pleasantly surprised, and I will give them all the praise in the world if they do make a big move. I don't expect it.
Yeah.
They better do something. I mean, they're not going to sit on their hands, but I'm expecting I don't even know, Abraham Toro kind of move, like that caliber of player who's actually having a pretty good year, but that kind of move, that one where you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it would be the kind of move that you have to be sold on. You know what I mean? Like, here's what's great about this guy, and like, well, how about, some of the guys that, we can see O'Hearn, you can see a Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's
but
just how
I'm
I
a
feel
little,
like it's going to go that way.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I mean, look, if they get Gino, I think that everybody's going to be happy with that move. Everybody's going to be. There'll be a lot of, well, why'd you let him go in the first place? Which I think is a fair question. I think we know it was about finances, but now he's in the final year of his deal, so it's a prorated situation. You're just paying for the last couple months of that deal, which makes it certainly more palatable to a ownership group that is watching their bottom line. So,
well, I got to say, I love watching Ben Williamson play third. I think he's awesome, but I'd rather watch a Eugenio Suarez's throwing arm, Bob. That's what I like watching.
Well, Williamson's a better defensive player.
Yeah.
Suarez has a better arm.
But he has a great arm.
Yeah, but defensively, in terms of making plays, Williamson's better.
Oh, man, he's been phenomenal.
You're just not getting you're getting one home run out of third base. So you need more than that. Meanwhile, how will Pete Carroll shape the Raiders in his first year as head coach? We're going to get into that conversation coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner.
Bryan
Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row. Julio Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the big dumper.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star Four. From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. Recently, we had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey and a Swedish Cyberknife patient. We had him and Dr. Landis from the Swedish Cyberknife in studio last month. And a couple of things that really stood out about Swedish Cyberknife. The treatment. Number one, I mean, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full time. And each treatment session lasts less than an hour. So he was able to remain comfortable during treatment. You can wear your street clothes, didn't experience many side effects other than just being a little bit tired. But you compare that to other treatment methods where you have surgery or you have to have a catheter. I mean, it's night and day difference with Swedish Cyberknife. And also, it was really cool to see the relationship between Andy and Dr. Landis. Andy held him in such high regard, and rightfully so. Dr. Landis is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award. We talk about building a sports team and trying to find superstars. Swedish Cyberknife truly has that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field, just like Dr. Landis. And Swedish Cyberknife treats patients from all over the state. And also, you don't need a physician referral. You can reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and having to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on whatever's on your mind. As somebody said, who cares about the Raiders? Said somebody.
We don't care about the Raiders.
We care about Pete.
Care about Pete.
Talking about Pete, really. This is really, no, I don't give a rip about the Raiders or anybody on that team. What do I care? Care about Pete. Pete's a legend in this town. As we sit right now, greatest head coach in the history of this organization. Most successful head coach in the history of this organization. Brought you a Super Bowl title. Brought you back to the Super Bowl the following year. Come on.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Chuck Knox was great. Mike Holmgren, fantastic.
Holmgren was great,
coach.
yeah.
Yeah. And he was kind of an X's and O's guy. Like Mike was like, he would draw up plays and he was like an artist.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. But yeah, Pete, everybody loves Pete.
Pete's a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah.
He's a Ring of Honor guy. And it was just, this is on the heels of an interesting article. Ryan McFadden wrote an article on Pete Carroll rebuilding the culture for the Raiders. Now, I think there's a little hyperbole in here. But we've also seen what Pete does out at practice.
Right.
When it was scalding hot and you and I are sitting there with fans blowing on us and we're in T-shirt and shorts and we're under a canopy and it's hot. It's just hot air being blown around. We're just going, ugh, this is awful. There's Pete out there in long sleeves and pants.
Right.
Doing 100s. He's running the length of the field. Then he'd run over and talk to the coaches, players, yell whatever he's yelling. Then he'd run another one. in the dead of summer out there doing that. So they're kind of talking about this here. It says, at Raiders training camp in 106-degree weather, 73-year-old Pete Carroll snuck up, and here's where the hyperbole comes in, and pinned 6'6", 328-pound offensive lineman Thayer Mumford Jr., threw the football around during special team drills, raced the defensive backs. Now, I believe all of that. The pinning of the 6'6" guy, as I was saying to you during the break, that's like a dad or somebody with a newborn or a little kid.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, a little kid going, oh, you pinned me. Ah, I quit. You got me. You know, that's what happened there.
I don't know. Maybe Pete's like a ninja, man.
He's got some new moves. I don't know, but I mean, he was throwing the football everywhere. He does that all the time. I could see him racing, defend. That's just who he is. He's the most energetic 73-year-old you're ever going to see in your life. He was the most energetic 68-year-old you've ever seen in your life. It's who he is. It's consistent. It's not an act. And then they got some quotes from their players. Jacoby Myers said, quote, "It's got to be some type of drug out there or something. He's got a lot of energy, man." Their center, Jackson Powers Johnson, said, quote, "We're having the most fun time in football that we've ever had, and it starts with him. He doesn't have a bad day, and it's infectious energy that's been put on us." That's absolutely true. Max Crosby said he's true to that. It's not fake energy. It's not just him. It's the assistant coaches, the whole building. It just feels different. Pete creates that culture where everyone knows it's hard. You're going to work your tail off, but you've got a whole group and an organization of people that all got to be on the same wavelength and go in the same direction. That's one of the hardest things you could do. I mean, it's just up and down the praise for him. Yeah,
Chip Kelly.
Yeah. Carroll believes if you have a crystal clear vision of what you want to get accomplished, you can get a group of people to do the same thing, then good things are going to happen. He's got this team believing.
Yeah, and it's 100% authentic. Like he never has like a down moment. But yeah, and the other thing is, I think Mark Schlereth told us this, where he had an experience with Pete where he was like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
You know? And the reason why is because Pete will dedicate 100% of his attention to whoever he's talking to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He did that one time with me. I remember one time after I don't think it was an overtime game, but they played the Rams down there a couple of years ago when I broke my ribs. And, yeah, it was like this high-intensity, final drive, game-winning drive, everything, and walk into the buses, and he says, "Hey, what's this thing going on with your ribs, man? I heard about that." Like, why? Why would you know that? Why would you know that my ribs are broken, Pete, for something stupid I did in the weight room? I mean, it was just – he just always paid so much attention to details of everybody's lives, and then, like I said, I mean, when you talk to him, you're the only guy in the room. So, yeah, I have no problem rooting for Pete, and, you know, I think we'll play him in the preseason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, you know, we would meet them in the Super Bowl, I guess. And then I'll root against him. But, yeah, I mean, I have no problem rooting for Pete, and really to some extent, Gino. I mean, it kind of sucks that he didn't want to be here.
Yeah, I don't have that affection for it because we never got a chance to speak to him.
Yeah.
Not one time.
No attachment.
I appreciated who he was. I appreciated what he did while he was here, and he was certainly better than I ever gave him credit for being before he was named the starter. But I never had a warm feeling for him. You know, where Pete, he was very endearing, and you talk to him. We talked to him a million times over the years, and just like these guys are saying, I love the one guy who's like, it's got to be some type of drug out there, man. And yes, they are the first opponent of the preseason, August 7th.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, that and the relationship with Gino, I mean, typically you don't have that kind of love between your quarterback and your head coach, but Pete's just totally different. So, yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think the Russell thing, just because Pete put so much into that, and you know, they had a good relationship, and you know the way that ended. But look, Pete is fine with Russ now. I mean, they met at some some kind of charity event, and no problem. He doesn't carry grudges, I don't think, and he's just a guy that's easy to root for. I think I told you I ran into him on that plane.
Yeah,
I was like, I was so happy to see him. I was like, wow, that's weird. I had to kind of like check myself. I'm like, why am I so excited to see Pete?
Well, makes you feel good.
He just does.
Yeah. All right, time to get ready for Seahawks training camp. Brian Walters is going to join us next to talk about that. That's coming up with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner. Bryan has retired 13 Yankees in a row. Julio Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the big dumper.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4. From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Rick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing.
We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit threetreeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit threetreeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get the day off today, traveling to New York to begin a 3-game series with the New York Yankees, followed by 3 with the Detroit Tigers before the All-Star break. They just finished a 17-game just a 17-game and 17-game stretch of the schedule. So a much-needed day off. They go 11-6 in that time. They go 5-2 on their 7-game homestand. So things trending the right way for the team. They get back to it tomorrow. A couple of games going on right now. Tigers and Rays in the top of the second, headed to the bottom of the second, are scoreless. There's a delay in Cincinnati. Marlins and Reds yet to get going out there. Just about to get going in Boston. Red Sox playing host to the Rockies. Same is true in Milwaukee. They are hosting the Dodgers out there. Royals play host to the Pirates. Blue Jays on the road to take on the White Sox. It's the Astros and Guardians getting together in Houston. Angels hosting the Rangers. Padres and Diamondbacks in San Diego. And the Giants welcome the Phillies to town.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Training camp is right around the corner. Before you know it, Dave, we're going to be out there brisking in the sun.
Are you ready? Are you ready for football season to start? I always say no.
I'm still invested in what's going on in the baseball season, but there's room for both. But somebody I know is really excited about things getting underway is with us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, part of the Seahawks broadcast. Former wide receiver Bryan Walters is with us. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into the Seahawks, you played under Pete Carroll. You know what he is as a person and how he acts. I'm just curious because we were just reading the story that was written on ESPN about Pete Carroll's impact on the Raiders so far, and there, different quotes from players saying, "Man, there's got to be some type of drug out there. He's got a lot of energy," and everybody talking about that. But I'm curious, how many times did people come up to you going, "Come on, man, is that real? Is that an act?"
It's crazy. I mean, that is the common theme when you talk about Pete Carroll. He's not really that energetic, is he? Every day, every single day at practice, there's never a time where he's down. I mean, you're like, no, he is honestly on every single day. And if he's on, at the time, I don't know how old he was. He was probably 62 years old 10 years ago, 63. If he was on like that and hyped up, energetic, then you knew you had to be on. And it's great. Even doing kick returns, that used to be, kick return, punt return. Every time you caught a kick, you return it, you go down to the other end of the field, and there's Pete right behind you, running down with you. And you're like, are you sore? Are you doing that? He's throwing a ball all practice. It's so funny, and it's just so awesome, too, to have a coach so involved and just showing so much energy, kind of refusing to get old, I think, is kind of his motto.
Yeah, he always says it's just a number. Didn't he also wear gloves?
Yeah,
out there. I think
yeah,
he would,
throwing gloves on,
throwing gloves. But
yeah, I mean, he threw. He was, I think, sometimes the scout team quarterback for those walkthrough periods when you're walking through new coverages. He was rolling out, throwing balls in the air, getting them intercepted. That's what he was always doing.
Yeah, getting them intercepted. I love it.
What about for you, B. Walt? I never got a chance to talk to Gino. I mean, he never. And I don't know. You've probably had more access to him than most, but I don't know. It just there's not really an attachment there, And what about you? Did you ever get a chance to talk to Gino just one-on-one or?
Yeah, one time actually, and it was back when it was at one of Russell Wilson's passing camps. He came out and he showed up and helped out. Did talk to him briefly. It wasn't anything crazy at the time. Just, hey, nice to meet you. Boom, boom. He helped out. It wasn't anything crazy after that. No, not a single interaction with him. Just what I saw on the field and the post-game pressers and all the stuff he's asked to do during the week. So that was about it with Gino.
Well, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's just that, we've formed such an attachment with Pete. And then, with Gino, it was just hard to because, like you said, he was always just in the scrum. He didn't usually talk to people individually.
Yeah, and that's just, I guess, his personality. I never knew. I don't know how much he was asked. I don't know how much he was actually, would he turn down interviews to come on, like your show or all that, or was it just kind of, no one really asked him? It was just his own business.
It was just kind of more understood that he'd do his weekly gathering, before the press and kind of don't bother. It was the basic message. Like, look, he talks to the assembled press every single week, and then he'll talk after games to the assembled press. But yeah, as far as one-on-ones, it was just kind of a that's probably not going to happen. So there it is. But as we get set for training camp, Dave and I have been spending a lot of time talking about the expectations of this team and the unknown element of it. All the unknowns for me rest on the offensive side of things. I'm really confident in what this defense is going to be. I don't know what the O-line is going to look like with the new coaches there and what Sam Darnold's going to look like. Are you confident in what that's going to look like? Are you more curious than confident? Where's your feeling about the offense sit?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a weird feeling. I'll tell you that. It's weird. It's like I'm more confident after seeing what last year was. I would say I am more confident in the offense this year than I was, thinking about what the offense was last year. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I can kind of clear that up a little bit, but it's like there's so many unknowns with how are they going to work JSN and Cooper Kupp together? What kind of route combinations are they going to do? What's this offensive line? How are they going to adapt to the new scheme with Kubiak and the new blocking, new situations, a little more run game, a little more play action? I think they're going to be put in so much better spots, which is what I'm really excited for. I think the play calling is going to be a lot better. No knock on Grubb. Grubb loved to air it out and I guess, I don't know, go for the home run or we're not going to be seeing 40, 50 throws a game this season, which I'm excited for. We've talked about that all year last year. Is just, come on, can we get more balance? Like, can we just kind of stick to a run game a little bit? They felt like he kind of started off, he had run it, 5-6 times in the second quarter, and then you might run it 2 or 3 times the rest of the game. It just, there wasn't a lot of consistency, if that makes any sense. So this year I'm excited just for consistency, not, if you get behind, Grubb just tended to air it out, just boom, throw. And it was just put the offensive line in a tough spot. And then it's just like, you talk to Ray Roberts all the time, and he talks about the importance of the run game just as far as the mentality of the offensive line and how it just kind of gets them into the game, gets them pushing forward, gets them hitting the other team as opposed to kind of absorbing blows when you're just sitting back on your heels, pass blocking the entire game. And I think that's a big thing, just getting in the right mentality as an offensive lineman and getting put in situations like that. But it's going to be I'm confident. I should say I'm confident in this offense. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be less red zone turnovers, which was the big thing last year, and just a lot of fun to watch all these pieces kind of come together.
Well, B-Wald, I know, being on the offensive side, you got more of a handle on, like, The thing that was my criticism and what I'm hopeful for this year is that you didn't see them set plays up. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we're going to run this, and then we're going to run play action off of it, and then, a few plays later, we're going to do this. I mean, it seemed like to me that, but you'd have a better feel for that. That was the problem last year, and that's kind of what you see from Kubiak's offense, that they're running things that are going to set something up later, as far as, I mean, obviously you're not calling a play you don't think is going to work just to throw it in there, but, like, if it's there, it just seems like there's more of a plan going in than what we saw last year.
Oh, yes, 100%. I thought that sometimes last year you saw one formation come out and they only ran one play out of that formation. And you're like, I know when, three tight ends or whatever it was, two tight ends are in the backfield, this is the one play they go to. And you just kind of call that. And you could see that from the press box where that Kubiak will be playing more of a chess game out there. He's going to be, he might stick to one run play that might get stuffed 3 times, but he's got a couple things off of that. And that's why he's getting it ingrained in the defense to notice it, recognize it, and think that they have a beat on it. And then there they go, attacking full force. Let's keep stopping this. Boom. And then you got a play action, a bootleg, different route concepts. And I think that's like one of the most important parts of an offense is just not being predictable and making sure things look alike. Like I always go to a wide receiver position. A good route runner makes every route look the same. You don't know if he's running a deep ball. You don't know if he's running a slant. You don't know if he's running a hitch. But when he comes off the ball, everything looks like that go ball. And that just puts a wrinkle on the cornerback. It makes it tough on a corner. So I kind of think that that's the same philosophy this offense will be going for. Every play, not every play, don't get me wrong, certain plays, most plays will all be, kind of coexisting with other plays and setting other plays up. Just kind of getting the defense to think twice. That's it. You just need a little split second of delay, little split second of doubt to put in the defense, and then you got the edge on them. Then you can, and then you got them exactly where you want them. So I think that's important. And again, we haven't seen much of it. I've only been out to a couple practices and their walkthroughs and all that stuff. Hard to see kind of all the movement and everything going on. So I'm just excited to see that in action here. It's coming up quick, man. I can't believe how fast time flies between the off season and training camp. Jeez.
Yeah, we were just talking about Pete and all that. The first preseason game is August 7th against the Raiders. So we're a month away from the first preseason game. So it's crazy. But hey, where's your level of confidence, belief in Sam Darnold? Because we talked about it a million times. He was one player for 6 years, and then last year out of nowhere he looked completely different outside of a couple games. But where's your level of belief that that's who he is versus the previous part of his career?
Well, here's my belief in that. I believe that a quarterback can't do it himself, right? There's no way a quarterback can come in and turn a team around just straight up by himself. And when he was with the Jets, that's what he was asked to do. When he was with the Panthers, it's kind of what he was asked to do. Yeah, he didn't have a very good surrounding with him. When he got to the Vikings, you had pieces in place there. They were pretty good. Justin Jefferson might be a pretty good receiver from what I hear. And so I like the situation he's coming to here. I think he has it will be a top 5 defense this season. I have no doubt about that. His defense is stacked. So he has a defense to help him out, maybe cause some turnovers, maybe put him in some good scoring positions and be advantageous that way towards Sam Darnold. And Cooper Kupp and JSN, they stay healthy. Those are two phenomenal route running, smart receivers and with great hands. So you can get the ball anywhere in their vicinity. You expect them to come down with it because that's what they are. So the pieces are there. Again, the offensive line's a question mark. I kind of have confidence in them if they can stay healthy. You go back to last year, you're mixing and matching all year. You're putting guys in different spots. You don't necessarily know who's going to be playing, some injuries. Abe Lucas being healthy for a full year would be absolutely ginormous to this team. So my confidence in Sam Darnold is I just think it's such a better situation than what he was. And when you look back at some of those games when he was with Carolina and the Jets, he had some good games. He did. He put up some good numbers. The teams didn't win, and I think that's a lot of that. It gets blamed on a quarterback, but he had some decent numbers. And so when he was given the opportunity there, especially in Carolina, but I think as a football player, sorry, there's a long-winded answer here, but as a football player, confidence is the main thing. And after feeling success, tasting success like you did in Minnesota, you come in here and you believe. Now you know you can do it. And I think that changes things for a quarterback.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, what's your level of belief that Brock Heward can run the morning show? I've heard you on there multiple times. What in the world is going on?
Oh, man. Yeah, that was fun. I'd never spent much time with Brock before. I've seen him like one time, I think, at a training camp because, I run into you guys all the time at games and all that, but Brock I hadn't. So it was a lot of fun. I got to host with him all last week on Brock and Salk, and we just chatted football. Two football guys trying to talk baseball all day. That was a fun part. But we had a good time.
Brock acts like he can't run the show, but he can. And he
did a great job.
He's
Made it
very
easy.
adept.
Yeah, you can do it when he chooses to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think he was excited for Salk to get back, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about this lead hosting thing.
Yeah, well, that makes one. Hey, no, I'm just kidding, of course. Hey, how confident are you in the? I'm with you on the defense. I mean, the second half, they were a top 10 defense in this league. I don't really see any holes. I guess if we're going to really nitpick, maybe there's some depth areas you look at and go, if this guy goes down, who's going to step in? Middle linebacker, maybe cornerback. I don't know. I don't see a lot of issues with the defense. I've got just a full level of confidence that they're going to be really good. Are there any concerns, depth, anything on that side of the ball for you?
No, I think you just said it. I actually talked about it a lot last week. Is just you go from the starters. You go hands down from all the positions, starting defense. You love what you have. I mean, you're going down the line from the secondary, the linebackers, and that includes Tyrese Knight, the rookie that was thrown in there last year that you never expected to see play. And there he is making all the tackles and having a fantastic rookie season. And now he's kind of ingrained himself as a starter there. So you're 100% confident in that spot. Ernest Jones, love that he's back, and you saw what he did after he took the helms of the defense. I think the depth up front is fantastic. I love, as far as the outside, rushers, the ends, and then the D tackles, love that depth all around. Now, where you start to get question marks is secondary depth. And not necessarily, I think all teams go through this. They go through, if this guy, if Devin Witherspoon gets injured, what are we going to do? Well, yes, of course, he's your star player. That's going to hurt you a lot. But where I see the depth becoming a little concerned with the Seahawks is experience. So, a lot of teams might have a guy, he's not as good, whatever, but he's had a lot of experience. You look at the depth on the back end, you look at the depth cornerback and linebacker and stuff, and you don't see just a ton of experience. I think a linebacker, it sticks out to me the most. And so that could be a good thing. Maybe someone is asked to step in at some point in the year and they completely exceed expectations and they go and they take the opportunity by the horn and run with it, and that would be awesome. But it's also just an unknown thing that you just kind of hope that guys are ready to step up when needed, because you definitely will need that for sure.
You're talking about the inside guys, right, B-Wall? I mean, as far as
inside linebackers,
off the ball line. That was kind of my one area where I think depth is a concern. But could you see them bringing in like a veteran or somebody? I think they brought in Connor Williams last year, pretty late. Like I think camp had started, but is offensive line okay with you? Do you think the scheme is going to fix it? They have the right guys, or would you like to see them? Where would you like to see them add depth?
I don't think I think they tried it last year. I think the experiment was last year with Connor Williams, and then you had a guy retire at week 6 with other stuff. I think it's hard to match. Come in, learn a new scheme, and be asked to be a contributing offensive lineman. I think that's tough. And I think there's something to be said with gelling with your, the starting five and having a cohesive unit there and getting used to the guy to the right of you, getting used to the guy to the left of you. And how they're moving, how are they picking up blitzes? What are they doing? It's like, I think there's something there, and I think the experiment last year failed so much that I don't know if they're going to take that gamble. I think they're just going to hope that coaching overcomes it, and that you see potential. I mean, you do. I've said this a bunch now. Christian Haynes last year, I know he got at one point he got benched, but I went back and watched that game before he got benched. He lost that starting right guard spot, and I saw like one missed block. You know, you look at it and go, I thought that was a pretty decent game by him. I don't know if he's not picking things up, if he's not, you know, blocking the right guy. Maybe he's making little mental errors like that. I have no idea. But as far as the physical ability to make the block and to hold block, like he had it. He did that. And so that's exciting. I think that's going to be a good competition. And with some coaching, I don't really feel, how do I put this? I'm not that worried about the offensive line, if that makes any sense. You know, you have Charles Cross. You have the new rookie. I'm excited for Gray Zabel. You can't expect a lot from him, but that's going to be your cemented left guard spot. You know that. Abe Luke is healthy. Huge. So now you go center. You know what Olu can bring. I think a year of experience under his belt will be great. And then the right guard's the only question mark. And I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a little competition there. And you have some young guys trying to take that spot, and you have some veterans that are trying to keep it. So I don't know. I think it's what it's all about, a little competition, and see what kind of spots the coaches and see how the coaches can really get the most out of these guys.
Where are you at with Reek Woolen? He's, to me, fascinating because as a rookie, we were so excited about his potential. He makes the Pro Bowl, 6 interceptions. I mean, he just looked like this guy's going to be a star. And then he's kind of gone the other direction since. He's had certainly good moments in there, but he's playing for his contract. This is the final year of his deal. So I would imagine you'd think we'd see the best version of him there is. What's your level of belief in him and the fact that he puts up a good year and they sign him to an extension, or what do you think with him?
Yeah, I think you just said it as far as it's a contract year. He has no reason not to, you know, for a cheesy term, I guess, give it his all this year. Really make sure he is all in, because so this year will pretty much make or break his whole career. If you think about that, it could be he has a season like his rookie year, then he's gonna get paid and be set for life, guys, and something that I never got to enjoy in the league. So I mean, I think he's in a great position, and he's got all the talent in the world. He really does. He's tall, fast, and I give him a little benefit of the doubt. I do think his shoulder was bugging him a lot. You didn't see him come up and make the big plays. You didn't see him be that aggressive. I think that shoulder injury was something that kind of has lingered with him, and a year or two out from it. I can't remember when he injured that. It may have been 2 years ago, actually. But given the time like this, you know, coming in healthy, I expect a big year from Reek, and really to solidify that secondary with him and Witherspoon. Be a fun little duo to watch there. But no, I have all the confidence in the world in Reek. I think it'll be a big year.
Bryan, always good to talk to you, my friend. Thanks so much for taking the time, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you at the VMAC here soon. Again, coming up quick.
Thanks, you go. Walt. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks for having me.
There you go. Seahawks broadcaster Bryan Walters, former wide receiver for the team, and now he's part of the broadcast joining us. Always a good conversation with him. And, 1 month away, month from today, they'll be playing the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's unbelievable.
Game
they
1.
Better get to work.
Okay, I know. There's so much to do in such a little time here.
Yeah. I just, every year, I'm like, okay, this is going to go until next January. And I'm always like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it to start. But no, it'll be awesome to get out there. We have lots of questions, man. Lots of questions. I think it's going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to sell out, you know, all those practices from the fans, because there's just a lot of curiosity going on with the quarterback, and really, you know, your head coach going into his second year, which I always think is like the best year. Like there's the most improvement made, you know, from year 1 to year 2 in football. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see McDonald, and you know how much more comfortable he is. And he never looked uncomfortable. It's just that, you know, for him, that's a lot of work, you know, and then going and doing all the press stuff and everything. I mean, I think that stuff maybe, I don't want to say caught him by surprise, but it'll be interesting to see what he's like with the year under his belt.
Yeah, it's to me, all of the questions are on offense. I don't really have any on defense. Doesn't mean they're going to be perfect, and maybe certainly questions can develop as time goes on, like what's going on with this guy or this guy. I do wonder what Byron Murphy's going to be like in year 2.
That'll be
because I was a little underwhelmed. I didn't think he was bad by any stretch. I was just hoping for more of a presence from him last year based on, and that's kind of buying into the draft hype and the reviews of all these players. And this guy's a road grader, and this guy does this, and this guy's doing that. And wait till you see this.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm not trying to defend him unnecessarily, but that is one of those positions where you just don't get a lot of stats.
Yeah.
And you could still have a good year.
I just didn't hear his name. But you just kind of forgot about him at times. Oh yeah, he was in the game. He just didn't have much of a presence.
Yeah, or I didn't see him splitting a double team or just overwhelming anyone physically. So yeah, and unfortunately, probably not going to be able to see that until a couple of padded practices or whatever. But
yeah, him and just guys on contract years in general. Just okay, do we see a different version because your future's on the line here? So
I'm glad to hear B-Walt has confidence in Reek Woolen.
Yeah, I mean he's got the skills. That. It's just does it happen from game 1 through game 17 and hopefully into the playoffs? We'll see. Meanwhile, who deserves the praise and who deserves the blame for Julio's highs and lows? We're going to get into that coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Jordan Schusterman every Wednesday morning at 11 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports.
How do you foresee this rotation shaping out before the All-Star break?
I certainly don't think that's the last we will see of Emerson Hancock this season. I will be interested to see if Logan Evans can make a push to replace him at some point, how they kind of go back and forth between both of those guys. I think from a workload standpoint, I have to imagine they want to be a little bit more careful with Evans.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. And when you hear Harley Exteriors, think windows. Manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest climate. And Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, and this is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window. And these windows last up to 60 years, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort, and they come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breakage or damaged seals, it's going to help your home's resale value. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And in July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation. No payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your entire project. So think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY, or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 12th and 13th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. Beckett, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 400 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 12th and 13th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Andre. Andre, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
My wife and I were going to get married, and we wanted to combine our insurance for both home and auto.
Were they able to save you any money?
The money they quoted us was actually the same as what we were paying separately. However, the coverage that we received was immensely greater than what we were previously receiving. It's quite scary how unprotected we were with our previous coverage. Under First Mark, I'd probably say we doubled the coverage that we had. It was a huge deal.
What would you tell others they can expect when they make that call to First Mark?
Take the 15-minute phone call. It's totally free. It's not going to cost me a thing. And the very least that could happen is just gain a better understanding. The best that could happen is you could either save money or get much better coverage, which is exactly what happened.
Andre did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking research in immunotherapy. It reprograms a child's own T cells to hunt down and destroy cancer. It's hope, powered by science. But here's the truth. Pediatric cancer research is drastically underfunded. That's why Safeway is stepping up, and you can too. G. Scott here asking you to say yes to donating to Immunoheroes next time you're at Safeway checkout. Together, we can help fight cancer for all kidkind.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays, 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to Brian Walters, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Feel free to text in at 866-979-3776. Any thoughts you're having?
Yeah, we want to hear it all. We want to hear everything you think.
Yeah, some just for our own amusement. Some just for our own amusement. But
we've got good textures.
Most of them. But we've had this conversation about Julio again for the handful of people that think we're picking on him. Well, you're always picking on him. Cover your ears. Turn the radio down for a moment. We're going to talk about Julio. What's interesting is last year, Dan and Edgar came in final 34 games, and we all talked about the offense, how it picked up, and the impact. Edgar. He's gonna sprinkle the magic fairy dust on everybody, and they're going to be great. Then you got into April of this year, and all of a sudden Polanco couldn't miss a ball. Guys just crushing everything, and the offense just took off. And then it went frosty cold, and now you're kind of in between, where some nights they're bashing the ball left and right, look like they can't be stopped, and then you got back-to-back games where you put up one run apiece. And as it pertains to somebody specifically like Julio, when they're going, well. We heard it, even with Cal or anybody else who's on fire. Well, Edgar, man, Seitzer, those guys know what they're doing. They know how to talk to these guys, which may be true. And this is even commentary on them so much as we're eager to give credit, but when somebody's struggling, it's that guy's fault. We don't hear about Edgar or Seitzer. We just hear about that guy. But when somebody's succeeding, we're hearing about that guy, and it's Edgar and it's Seitzer, and then boy, they know how to reach that guy.
So it's kind of the opposite of what the Nationals had going there.
Yeah, and it's
Don't blame the coaches.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you're somebody that gives credit, don't you also have to look at them and go, hey, man, it's up to them. Their job is to get these guys pointed in the right direction. And that includes Julio. It doesn't matter how much he makes or how big his name is. It includes everybody that's on this roster. So if you're going to give credit, shouldn't you also point to them and say, all right, man, you guys got to double down, or you got to figure something out. Whatever you're doing is not working. You need to figure out a plan B, or maybe they're on to plan C now. I don't know where they're at in that whole thing. But
well, and also like Cal, for example, don't you just see him as being a guy who figured something out in the offseason?
I don't know, but maybe it was Edgar.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Edgar and Seitzer. I don't know.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great question you asked, that, why doesn't it go both ways? We do tend to individually point to the hitters, right?
Yeah.
And Julio, I mean, maybe it's just, hey, we can fix most swings, but there are some that you just don't, they don't have a handle on. I don't know, but it just, I said this about Dylan Moore the other day, that he looks lost. There's lots of times where Julio looks really lost. Like, he is late a lot, it seems like, and, not catching up to the fastball. And, it just, I don't know. It seems like, and then, takes a beautiful swing, and he's such a big, strong dude. You expect it, to go a long ways. And he has hit some hard, but like for the most part, it's just been kind of off just the bottom of his bat, and just.
Yeah, he's not squaring the ball up repeated. He did yesterday. The double was nice. Off Skeens, no less. That was great to see.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be something that gives him confidence.
He hit that ball hard. So maybe that's the beginning. I don't know. We've said that before. He had that game where he hit the home run and the double in the same game. You're like, all right, this is where he gets going. And in the 7-game series at home, he went 3 for 28. He had a double, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Yeah. Look, Cal only had 3 hits, but his were all home runs. Yeah. He didn't. His average took a hit too. So did he. So it's not like he was just a house of fire. He had 2 home runs in one game and a home run in another, and he didn't have a great series in terms of hits. Julio, the same thing, but Cal's been smoking hot. He's been the best home run hitter in all of baseball. So I'm not going to jump on him for that. I'm just looking at Julio going, how do you fix him? I love this guy. I love this kid. I've seen his ability. I've seen how great he can be. I desperately want him to be that guy. I just don't know what the problem is. And obviously they don't either, because if they did, they would fix it, right? It's not for lack of effort or lack of care. This guy works his tail off. By all accounts, he is a hard-working dude, and he cares. Yeah. But, maybe he cares too much. Maybe he's trying too hard. Maybe he's caught in between approaches. I'm trying not to strike out, so now I'm just going for contact, and that's killing my power. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But you wonder what's the solution? Is it Edgar and Seitzer? Can they come up with a magic potion? Should Dan drop him in the order for a little bit just to take some of the pressure off him, or would that be more counterproductive because he'd feel, I don't know, embarrassed or something like that would highlight his struggles, like the now hitting 6th is Julio? I don't know. I don't know.
Just hit. I don't know. That's always been kind of a mystery to me, unless it motivates him in some way. But, it just seems like there's something mechanically wrong. Not like, and I think we should say, I have never thought ill of Julio. As far as his hard work, he is, still young. That gets thrown out there a lot. But it never looks like he's had any kind of an attitude. He always hustles. So it's a shame that, he can't find it right now. And this has been a pretty long run, really. Typically by this time, he's kind of gotten, and maybe like Jerry DiPoto said, the ball is going to start to fly out of the park here a little bit more.
Hopefully he's going to get it up in the air more. That's the other part. He's just hit so many ground balls. He's just beating the ball into the ground more often than not. So,
but yeah, I know that you say that sometimes I will shoehorn a conversation about Cal Raleigh into a football situation. We're talking Seahawks.
No, any situation, really.
Cal Raleigh. But no, this one caught my eye because, the comparison to DK is kind of interesting because, well, I think, first of all, because of their physical stature, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it's just like, it seemed like DK was never like that superstar. But, I would say Julio's had more success than DK. He did make the home run derby, right?
Yeah, but that's an exhibition thing. I don't know. That's interesting. DK was pretty consistent. You look at it, his numbers in terms of he was available, rarely was hurt, 1,000-yard seasons.
What's the first thing you think about when his career here?
DK?
Yeah.
Probably his play with Buda Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that is like every high school football coach has shown his kids that.
Well, here's Mike Varell making the comparison. Julio right now, to him, feels like DK because you always felt like DK could have been more than he was.
I think there's a lot in the comparison between Julio and DK Metcalf in terms of the guy who just seemingly has every physical advantage in the book. And I think people become frustrated with those guys because they see what they can be. They see all the physical tools. And when you have all this potential, and it seems like maybe to some people that you're not realizing all of it, that can become deeply frustrating.
Yeah, that's interesting as far as the stature. And then, like DK, he was in some Olympic trials for the 100, right? I mean, he was a legit sprinter and, just a big dude, not an ounce of fat on him. Same thing for Julio. And I think that also comes with expectations, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, the contract comes with expectations. The marketing comes with expectations. When you're propped up as the next young superstar, that you develop expectations. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Whether you think they're fair or not is up to you. But yeah, you're going to talk about any of these guys. We talk about all these guys when they're succeeding, when they're struggling. You tell the whole story. And for him, it's gone in a way that we've seen those stretches where he just looks like the best player in the game. He's capable because we've all watched it. It's not speculation. Oh, he could be this. He could do that. No, we've seen him do it. We've witnessed it. It's happened. So when it doesn't, and more importantly, when it doesn't in crucial situations, when you see him strike out with the bases loaded the other night, when he gets beat by a 93-mile-an-hour center-cut fastball and he's behind on it, and then he gets a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, same spot, and he's behind on it, it is frustrating. And, when he's got runners in scoring position this year, he's hitting 209. He's hitting 209. That's where your stars come up in the big moments when you need them. It doesn't have to be a home run. Just put the ball in play. Hit the ball out of the infield. In a situation like that. 2 outs, bases loaded. You need to play to run. Man, at least put the ball in play. I know we're tired of watching him beat the ball into the ground, but the frustration, I think, is warranted. I don't, look, the extremists are, get him off the team, trade him. He's not that good. You're not. You're nuts. You're nuts. That's your emotion speaking. I'm not. That's just madness. But I don't think it's unfair to go, look, man, what do we need to do to get it fixed? How do we get him pointed in the right direction? Those are fair questions. That's not picking on him. That's a fair question for somebody who's got the capability of being amongst the elite in this game.
And by the way, June 1st, going back to June 1st, I should say, he's had 1 home run since then.
Yeah.
1. And, just no, there's a couple doubles sprinkled in there, here and there. But, yeah, it's been a total power outage.
Yeah. All right, coming up, a blowout win for the Astros, a crazy NBA trade, and lots of hot dogs await you when we sweep the dial. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner. Bryan Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row.
Julio
Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the big number.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4 from the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Upgrade your view and comfort with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Buy one window or door, get the second at 50% off through July, and enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. For details, visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Jet City Harley sales event is happening now. Save up to $5,000 on new 2023 Harleys. Jet City Harley needs to make room for more bikes. Save up to $5,000 on a new 2023 Harley at Jet City Harley.
See dealer for details. Fit and amounts differ by 2023 models available.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Maura Dooley here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
Rick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who struggled with distance vision, maybe you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution like it was for me. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without glasses or readers. I can actually read restaurant menus. I can read the receipts when they show up. I can read texts on my phone. It's amazing. RLE is an absolute game changer. I'm so excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that's permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know when RLE is right for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. K2VisionRLE.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
On Friday, during the Dodgers' 18-1 loss to the Astros, LA's broadcast team theorized that the Astros might be going back to their old ways.
Hit hard to deep center field. Pages on the run. A turn and watch this one. Wedge itself from the bottom of the wall. And Cam Smith flying into second, anchoring there with another extra base hit for the Astros. Double homer double to open third against Casparius.
I don't want to open an old wound, but in some ways they're swinging at these breaking balls like they know what it's coming. I mean, that is not a bad pitch. It's really a very good pitch. Low and away, probably would have ended up by the ankles if it would have made it past the bat. It's the other thing that you analyze. You analyze your grip, your delivery, your glove position on different pitches. Am I giving something away?
Don't want to open old wounds here, but it's like they know what pitch is coming.
Insert most inflammatory thing you can possibly say. Bring it up again. Yeah, it's ridiculous what they did. Your favorite player went 3 for 3 that night. The little
Who's that, Mookie Betts?
The little creep, Altuve. Scored 4 runs, 5 RBIs. I mean, yeah, they were just all over it. And it's so discouraging watching them go in there and sweep the Dodgers. I mean, it just looks like, and they've got guys that are going to come back.
Yeah,
off of.
They're doing it without Pena. They're doing it without Alvarez. It's maddening. It is frustrating to watch, and the Dodgers obviously have a vested interest in their cheating because that's who they were playing.
Well, and I heard, yeah, exactly. And
back when they were cheating.
They might actually have more fans there that hate the Astros.
They should.
Than us.
Well, it costs them directly.
Yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
Joey Chestnut made his triumphant return to the Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest over the weekend, eating 70 and a half hot dogs, 24 more than the second-place finisher. I won't make you listen to the nauseating sounds of the play-by-play call, but here's George Shea's wild introduction for Chestnut's return.
We are humbled by age in preparation for the great insults of death. But there are those who stand immortal, not through the grace of heaven, but through their own triumphs. I speak of this man, formed from the shards of shattered angels, wielding the white sword of righteousness, standing as quiet as truth. Ladies and gentlemen, while we must all face the dark mountain of night, forsaken and forlorn, alone in the ruins of our own minds, he will never fail or falter, for he defies the ministers of our fate and the limitations of our birth. And he will not stop until he stands side by side with the gods, his glory strung like beads of light, to adorn the arc of history itself. Joey Chestnut!
Was he reading that? I didn't see that live.
He had to have been.
Or was he going just top of his head?
I thought at the end he was going to say the Ayatollah of rock and rolla. That was that like some kind of a poem or something? Did you text in or plug into the computer, the computing machine, and see if AI came up with anything?
What are you talking about?
Oh, just that was something that he ripped off
that
from
thing,
somebody
yeah.
else, whatever that was.
Those are a lot of words to plug into the computing machine.
Go back and listen more carefully.
Yeah, that's quite an intro, and he lived up to it. I mean, he crushed the second place finisher by 24 hot dogs, 70 and a half, which I don't think that's not the record, but
yeah, I
don't think I've eaten 70 hot dogs in my life.
It's just, I don't know. The whole thing is very disgusting. We talked about it the other day. To me, because I have too many questions. I got too many horror shows in my brain. Where do the hot dogs go?
They got to throw them
Where
up.
do they go?
I'm guessing after a certain amount of time, they probably go make themselves sick. I would think. I don't know. He set the record, by the way, back in 2021, 76. 76 is the record. So he's 17th win in 20 appearances for him.
I wonder about his health. Like, I mean, you've got to train for this somewhat, don't you?
Yeah, he does. I remember seeing a special on him and him at home training and timing himself and doing all that. And yeah, and it's not, we talked about all the other competitions that they do. This is the most prestigious and the most notable and the one that gets all the pub, but there's a competitive eating tour. And you hear all those intros that, and I didn't see it this year. I totally spaced it, but I love the intros of every competitor, and like, he's the tater tot eating champion, he's the cow brain eating champion, he's the pizza eating champion, and everybody's got a different title, different claim to fame.
Sweeping the dial.
Cards on the table. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I really know nothing about the NBA, like less than nothing. But luckily, Curtis Rogers does. So before he left for the day, I asked him to explain it to me.
The centerpiece of the deal, Kevin Durant ends up with the Houston Rockets. He will join them with Clint Capella. Phoenix gets back Jalen Green from Houston, Dillon Brooks. 10th overall pick, Kaman Maluach from Duke. The number 31 pick in this year's draft, Kobe Brea, the number 41 pick in this year's draft, Daquan Plowden, and then the second-round pick. The Brooklyn Nets get 2 second-round picks. The Golden State Warriors get 2 second-round picks in this year's draft, which they used to draft Alex Tui and Jemai Mashak. The Atlanta Hawks get a second-round pick swap, role player David Roddy, and cash considerations. The Lakers receive Adu Thiero, and the Minnesota Timberwolves receive Rocco Zikarsky, 2 second-round picks, and cash considerations. It's not that hard, Matt.
I don't think I agree with him.
Total of 12 second-round picks were moved. It's the first 7-team trade in NBA history. The headliner is Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
that's really all you need to know. He was traded to the Rockets.
Did C-Raj at least have like bullet points there?
Just reading, it's got it here. All told, the deal involved the Rockets, Hawks, Nets, Golden State Warriors, Lakers, T-Wolves, Suns, 6 players: Durant, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Capella, Roddy, and Plowden.
The only reason I ask is I feel like it's plausible that C-Raj did have that committed.
Just memorized it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say he didn't, but it's the first 7-team trade. Boy, how many phone calls did it take to piece this thing together? A 7-team trade. You're talking to owners and GMs for all of them. All right, let me get on the phone to Phoenix. All right, I got to call Houston. Okay, let me call LA. Let me call Golden State. Well, Minnesota's not calling back yet. I'm not sure if they're in on it. I mean, my goodness, just to pull it off, whether you think it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever, just to be able to pull that off, get that many minds together to agree on this is insane. But the headline, the lead here is that Kevin Durant is traded to the Rockets.
Right.
So there you go.
He's the headliner.
He is. That's him. All right. Coming up, not even a Mariners preemption could stop us from having our weekly conversation with El Hombre. Michael Bradley joins us a day early, and it's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner. Bryan Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row.
Julio
Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the big dumper.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4 from the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Ryan, every time I see you on TV, I'm even more proud of all you've accomplished on the plan.
I'm so happy. For years, I've been trying to find a consistent plan that delivered results with my busy family and work schedule. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic not only delivered, but it was an absolute breeze. It was so enjoyable because the plan wasn't hard. I was able to eat delicious food, and I literally lost weight every single day.
Eastside Weight Loss Clinic works so well for me. I'm happy to hear more people are using it to lose weight and prioritize their health as well. It's an awesome plan. Schedule a free 50-minute consultation today. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The countdown is on.
16 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get a much-needed, much-deserved day off after 17 games in a row. They go 11-6 in those 17 games. They go 5-2 on the 7-game homestand. They travel today, and they get down to business. New York being first on the docket. 3 games with the Yankees, 3 with the Tigers, and then they hit the All-Star break, so they get back to it tomorrow. Meanwhile, games going on right now. Tigers out in front of the Rays, 3-1. That one headed to the bottom of the 6th. Red Sox up on the Rockies in the bottom of the 3rd. 3-1 the score there as well. They're in a rain delay in Cincinnati. Marlins and Reds yet to get under the way. The Brewers out to an early 3-0 lead on the Dodgers in the bottom of the 1st. Royals up on the Pirates 1-0. That one in the top of the 2nd. Bottom of the 2nd in Chicago. No score between the Blue Jays and the White Sox.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee? What? El Hombre.
That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low.
Yeah.
Roz is better.
El Hombre.
The natural meets Rudy meets. I don't even know how to describe it.
El Hombre.
He's here a day early, everybody. You count on him each and every week. He joins us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He's the one, the only El Hombre. Michael Bradley is with us. How are you, man?
What's happening, everybody? Bob, were you in Birmingham over the weekend?
I most certainly was not.
Not only Alabama.
Huh?
I mean England.
I know. You're talking about
the
the Black Sabbath finale, the send-off to Ozzy and Black Sabbath, the giant festival out there?
Those are your people.
Those are my people.
You're a metalhead, right?
Yeah, old school. I mean, I like a bit of everything, but yeah, that's the roots right there. Certainly, yeah. A lot of that was.
I'm a big Sabbath guy, believe it or not. I love them.
Are you really? I've never heard you even bring their name up.
I got 3 or 4 of their first 5 albums on vinyl still.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, are you part of the vinyl resurgence? Or are you out there buying records again?
No, I still have these. These are the records that I bought in the 70s and 80s. I still got them.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are worth money. Vinyl's a big deal these days.
What's your favorite song all time? Black Sabbath.
Oh, well, I mean, I love Iron Man, but I'll tell you what, the Black Sabbath, which is the opening song on the first album, Black Sabbath, is pretty darn good. Yeah. What is this that stands before me? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was more of a Black Sabbath with Dio. That's when I got introduced to him.
Oh,
well, look.
Did you ever hear what Ozzy said about Dio? He said, "Could you imagine Ronnie James Dio singing Iron Man?" He's like 5'7", so he's like, "Forget it, it can't happen."
He wasn't even 5'7", but look, I mean, if we're gonna compare voices. Ronnie James Dio is one of the greatest vocalists in the history of heavy music, and with all due respect to Ozzy.
I agree with you 100%, but he's not. I'm sorry, Ozzy's Ozzy.
No, I get it.
Well, it's kind of like David Lee Roth. You always talk about he's a great showman.
He's a great front man.
Yeah,
Sammy's a much better vocalist.
Right.
But I like.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear Sammy singing "Dance the Night Away." I'm sorry. I don't want to hear him singing "Jamie's Crying" or any of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But yeah, it looked like I saw some of the clips online, and it looked like a pretty cool event. Very cool event.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just have to say, and we'll move on to sports. I was really excited to see Steven Tyler out there because he suffered that injury to his throat, and everybody thought, oh, he blew his voice out. No, he actually got struck in the throat by something that was on the stage, like some scaffold, something that was on the stage.
Yeah.
Canceled the whole Aerosmith tour, wondering if he was ever going to be able to sing again. He's done some private events, and this was like the first public thing I think he's done. And he sounded brilliant. He's
he sounded pretty
77
good
years
singing
old.
Train Kept It Rolling. You're right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he did a Zeppelin cover. He did, which was a little curious why he didn't do a Sabbath cover, but okay. He sounded phenomenal. And the dude is 77 years old. And he's got one of the most demanding singing styles there is. But anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. By the way, are you somebody that watches the hot dog eating competition on the 4th of July?
Oh, God. Yes, absolutely. I watched every set, much to my wife's dismay. We watched the whole hour. I love the introductions. I love watching Joey Chestnut eat. I love that guy with the boater, the straw boater that does all of the stuff. It's tremendous. It is a great event, and you couldn't have it in any other country.
Wait, that sounded like you were saying something else. What was the straw what?
Boater, B-O-A-T-E-R. That's the name of the hat that he wears. It's called a boater.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, we played his intro, and it went on for, I don't know, easily 2 minutes. It's a very grand introduction of Joey Chestnut, the greatest competitive eater that anybody's ever seen. and he crushes the second place finisher by 24 hot dogs. I was telling Dave, he ate 70 and a half. I don't think I've eaten 70 hot dogs in my life.
That's unfortunate for you because I love hot dogs. But anyway, the funny thing, too, is, well, the guy that they have doing color commentary on the broadcast with Jeremy Schaap is the president of the competitive eating, whatever league or whatever it's called. So he's there trying to pump these guys up and saying, oh, it's ordained by God. It's hilarious. The whole thing, you just have to watch it through the lens of it's just campy, and it's fun. I'm so disgusted by it. And I love what they eat. He ate 9.5 pounds of fudge in 8 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable.
Just celebrating gluttony.
275 crawfish in 4 minutes. Come on, man.
It's always the most random food item, too.
Yes. You never hear anybody say he ate 400 Brussels sprouts. Nobody could do that. That's the worst. They're the little green balls of death. No.
The one that looks like that, and Bob pointed this out. There's an ice cream champion, 17 pints, and Bob was talking about the brain freeze.
A brain freeze, a constant brain freeze for me.
Oh my God.
All right, before we move on from this, do you know what? Because Dave's like, well, what happens to that food? There's no way they're just they probably go make themselves sick, right?
They're told they're not allowed. I don't know if anybody follows them afterwards.
Well, I think it's like a 10-minute period or something that they have to hold it down. But then I think after that, you got it. There's no way you're going to subject your heart and your system to 70 and a half hot dogs, are you?
Well, they're Nathan's. They're all made from only the finest products. I don't know. They used to have a chicken wing eating contest called Wing Bowl here.
Oh yeah, in Philly. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and they had one rule: if you heave, you leave. So if you threw up on the top while you were competing, you were disqualified.
Wow. What item could you compete in, if any?
Nothing. I don't eat a lot. I don't, I've never been a great chugger of anything. I don't do, ripcords. I couldn't compete in anything.
Yeah. All right.
You don't use your body as an amusement park.
Yeah.
So
that's what we get to Costanza reference here. Yeah, I find my son using his body as an amusement park.
See, that brings me back to the hat. Didn't he call that a Panama hat? And Elaine pulled it over his head because she was mad at him at one point.
She always is mad at him. Yeah, but no, that wasn't a boater. That may have been wrong. They may have called it a Panama hat, but a Panama hat's different. That's more of a straw kind of hat. More of a fedora. This is more of just it's got the wide brim on it.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, let's move on,
I'm glad
shall we?
We were able to share all of that.
Yeah, that's right.
With our listeners.
That's right.
Very good.
Hey, we're looking at. I don't know how much you get invested in these all-star nominations or selections, if you will. If there are players on your team that you felt should have made it that didn't, we're out here and we're looking at a player going, should he have made it? And we're talking about Julio Rodriguez got named to the All-Star game, and he's not having it. He's playing tremendous defense, which is certainly helping his WAR number, but offensively not great. Not a great year for him. A lot of frustration that comes along with him. Yet he's an All-Star, and I know it's not new. We've seen that over the years with different players. based on reputation? Where are you at on that?
I used to get caught up in the fact, I wanted 8 Phillies on it. And I think I've said it on this program before. I went to the 76 All-Star game with a sign saying Cincinnati, my buddy said Cincinnati stuffs the ballot box because 5 Reds were starting. But, and Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez, 2 starting pitchers for the Phillies who have been unbelievable the last 6 to 7 starts. I mean, Ranger's been outrageous, and his ERA now is like a 1.99, and Sanchez isn't much higher than that. Neither of them made it. And I was getting upset, and then I thought, you know what? These guys are younger guys. They haven't thrown a lot of innings. This means they're going to get up to 2 weeks off before they, more than a full week off before they have to pitch again. Good. Let them rest. Let them rest their arms, go sit by a pool somewhere, and get ready for the quote-unquote second half of the season.
I'm really excited for the Home Run Derby for obvious reasons because of Cal and
Virk.
Yeah, exactly. But, now I see that Judge is backing out. I think, isn't Kyle Schwarber, is he out of it?
Yeah, he said no.
I don't think he's in it, yeah.
I don't know.
The guys who've done it, they just want to show up and have a good time, right? Schwarber's an all-star. He's going to go there and laugh and yuck it up and have a few Dr. Peppers maybe, and then we'll play an inning or 2 in the game, and then that's that. So I mean, the Home Run Derby is a lot of pressure, a lot of preparation, and I think it's more along the lines of let the younger guys get a shot at it.
Yeah, maybe they should take it off the timer. Or maybe give them more time.
It doesn't hold the allure for me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't watch it. I'll watch the All-Star game. I can remember. I think the first All-Star game I ever watched was the one when Reggie hit the lights up at Tiger Stadium in '71, I think it was. But it's fun. I've been to a couple of them, but that 4-day stretch with no baseball, there's no sports at all. That's grim.
Do you think this is going to go the way of the slam dunk competition where just the biggest names are going to just elect to bow out of it? I mean, this year Ohtani said no, Schwarber said no, Judge said no, Alonso said no. I mean, you got the biggest names when it comes to home runs saying, nah, that's all right. And then Alonso, to his credit, said, I'm not saying no forever, but this year I'm not doing it. But I'm just wondering, we saw this when they tried to put something on the line with the All-Star game. The winner gets home field advantage in the World Series because all the superstars were begging out of the game. So they made it have some consequence to it. Do you see anything like that happening with the Home Run Derby, or is this a one-year thing, or do you think it's going to be a bunch of no-names in years to come?
I think it's just going to be a bunch of no-names. And I think what people watch it for is just to see how many someone's going to hit. They don't care if somebody hits 27 homers in the first round. They don't care if he's somebody we've never heard of who plays for the Marlins or whether he's Aaron Judge. I think people just want to see the ball get hit out of the park. So I think it'll continue. It's programming. It's something the ESPN wants to do, and I think it'll go whether the big names are in it or not. And let's face it, there aren't that many big-time sluggers anymore. You don't see a whole bunch of guys who are those giant home run hitters. I mean, look at this year. Even Schwarber's having a very good year, but he's not dominant. Bryce Harper can't hit anything right now. It's not a home run. It's not a long ball anymore. We're starting to see more in terms of pitching, defense kind of taking over the game. There are still home run hitters, but not as many and not as high profile as they were.
Well, and I guess I think baseball has the best union of any of the sports, right? But
yes.
I was just thinking, maybe they make it mandatory at some point, or barring injury or whatever, you can get out of it. But I don't know. It would have been cool to see Ohtani and Judge and Cal, because we got, Cal. There's a video of him when he's like, what does he look like? 7 years old, 8 years old?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and so it's just very cool, and he's obviously all in and really excited. But for the other guys, I don't know. I would like to see the best hitters, but I don't know how you get that done. I would too,
but remember, it's an exhibition. And that's the thing. The last thing you want is someone who's trying to jack one out of there, pull a muscle that keeps him, his rib cage, that keeps him out for a certain amount of time. Yeah. So I just think it's a more, whoever shows up and competes, it's fun. and that's what's going to happen moving forward. I don't think you can compel anybody to participate in that.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that struck me in Alonso's statement was he said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, but, you know, hey, I'm going really good right now, and I want to be there for my team in the second half. I don't want to do anything to disrupt that. That, to me, was like ammunition for those that say you participate in the home run derby, and then you get the Bobby Abreu curse. All of a sudden, you don't hit well after that. You change your approach. You change your swing. It has an impact. That kind of hinted at that. Did you get that part of his statement?
Absolutely. And I mean, think about it. If you're playing golf and you have a nice swing and you've got a good round going, and you come to a par 5 and you say, I'm going to try to jack this one out there. Your swing breaks down. Your mechanics go to you know where, and then all of a sudden your next swing maybe isn't as good because you're coming out of your shoes. So all you're trying to do in this is not just make good contact. You want to hit it out. So as a result, you're going to do anything you can. So I agree with that. I don't want to go and spend the only time that week, maybe those 4 or 5 days where I'm going to hit a baseball, trying to do something that's unnatural, and then come back and maybe risk, messing up any swing momentum that I have.
Hey, you've heard of Cal Raleigh, of course. We brought him up. We have the Cal Raleigh show here every week. And the other day he said something kind of interesting. You wouldn't think a catcher would say, but he was like, he said something about having starters go longer. And barring injury, obviously. And I'm sure everybody would be like, oh, yeah, I've got tightness, and I'm sure there's no way that you could not get out of it. But, I thought that was kind of an interesting coming from a catcher. But I don't know. What do you think? Would that help the game? Because looking at Skeens, he left the other day after 5 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 10 strikeouts, 0 walks. But, just 5 innings. What do you think about that idea, that proposal?
Well, I mean, yesterday, Zach Wheeler threw a 1-hitter, 9 innings, no walks, 12 strikeouts. Right? He gave up 1 hit. It was a home run. Uh-huh. It was as dominant a performance as you're going to see short of throwing a no-hitter. I mean, it would have been a perfect game if he hadn't let 1 fastball ride out over the plate. It was tremendous. But the problem is, Wheeler's a 30-whatever-year-old veteran. The metrics on all of these pitchers come down to when they get to the 3rd time through the lineup, they're not as good. And you see it with just about every single pitcher. They get to the 5th, 6th, or God forbid, the 7th inning, and all of a sudden they get 2 strikes on a guy, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. They can't finish him off like they were in the first few innings. So the managers are going to rely on the numbers. They're going to try on the matchups. And I don't think we're ever going to see these guys. And in fact, I think it's going to be fewer and fewer innings, people going. It's not going to be they're going to be stretching out.
What do you think? I mean, we're in such an era of specialization, and that's been curtailed a bit where they used to bring in a lefty to face the one lefty, and he would get him out, and then they'd pull him, bring in another one, so in an effort to shorten the game. Obviously, they've changed those rules, but we're still in that specialization era. Do you see any more importance being placed on, all right, we need starters who can give us 7, maybe even 8. You've often recited the stats of Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan and the amount of innings and complete games those guys would throw. I mean, today somebody throws a complete game, it's almost like a no-hitter. It's the leading story on SportsCenter. It's front page news. Back then it was like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to change. And I mean, part of it is, and I talked to a high school athletic director today who had a junior have Tommy John surgery this year, and he said it's because he was throwing so much. He's playing fall ball. Now, the specialization of sports beginning at a very early age, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, you sound like a cranky old guy," but let me tell you something. These players are throwing the baseball, all year round. They play fall ball, then they go indoors and they're working out in the winters. Then they pitch through the spring into the summer with their select teams, and it just keeps going and going and going. So you're getting guys who are being overused, overworked. They're using the same muscles again and again, and it's no wonder that they're having problems with their arms, and it's no wonder that they're having problems where they can't throw 6 or 7 innings as they get older. Their arms. Their bodies may be in better shape than ever, but their arms are being abused. And I just, it goes down to, the complete game is an anomaly. They're so afraid that if they push the guy and he throws 105 pitches when he's only thrown 90 or 92 and the most the rest of the year, that he's going to be no good the rest of the season. And these guys come up with, look, Aaron Nola right now of the Phillies stunk, flat out stunk the first month of the season. Then all of a sudden, he sprained his ankle. And then the ankle's starting to get better. He has a little muscle strain. Well, he's not going to pitch until August if he pitches at all because he's horrid right now. So they're coming up with the most delicate injuries. It's no longer you go out there and you say, all right, I got a little blister. I'm going to have to change, I'm going to throw this kind of pitch instead of this kind of pitch. They're so protective of these pitchers. There's so much money involved. They're so afraid that they're going to lose them for long term that they're going to continue to baby the starters.
Yeah. This is just amazing how different it is when you look at some of those old numbers of complete games and innings thrown.
Robin Roberts, okay, from 1952 to 1953, August 28th to July 5th, 28 consecutive complete games over the course of 2 seasons.
Oh, my God.
Right? I thought it was 18. No, 28 consecutive complete games.
That is insane. Wow.
Yeah, think about that.
Oh.
That's never happening.
You're going to see 28 combined in a season in all of Major League Baseball?
There have been 5 thrown this year. We're in early July. We got 2.5 months of the regular season remaining, and there have been 5 that have been thrown.
I wonder what his fastball was. What was the velo on his fastball back then?
I don't know. I mean, it was fast. Yeah. And, I'm sure. And they weren't. Let's see. Robin Roberts. He was a fastball pitcher. Yeah. Fastball, speed. Back then, they didn't have jugs, guns, or anything like that.
Yeah.
He threw and said his fastball, according to AI, and I don't mean Allen Iverson, 95 to 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
So he was throwing gas.
28 complete games in a row.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Think about that. Back then, the bullpen consisted of 3 guys who pretty much ate sunflower seeds for the entire game.
Yeah.
If one of them had to come in and pitch an inning or two. And back then, if you stunk, they left you in. There was a guy who pitched for the Phillies in the 40s when they were just god-awful. His name was Boom Boom Beck. And the Phillies lost the game like 22-4, and he pitched. And Red Smith, the all-time great writer, was writing for the Philadelphia Ledger at the time. And his lead went something like this. The Phillies played the Pirates yesterday. They lost 22-4. Boom Boom Beck pitched. He gave up 18 hits, some inside the park, some out of the park. And it was like, could you imagine a manager leaving a guy in for 18 hits?
Oh, no, I can't. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, they did back then.
Wow. He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us each and every week. You can find him right here. You can also find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre, at Daily Hombre. Michael, we appreciate it as always. Great stuff. We'll do it again next week.
So long, suckers.
There he is. Spitting facts, historical facts. How about that? 28 complete games in a row.
95 to 100 back then?
My goodness.
That surprises me.
There's been 5 to this point in all of Major League Baseball.
Well, and it's just like speed. Like I remember when a 4.840 was really fast.
Yeah. When you ran it, yeah. All right. What does the 8-year-old Cal Raleigh expect to see from the 28-year-old Cal Raleigh? We'll hear that coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner. Bryan Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row.
Julio Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the Big Dumpers.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4 from the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
You know, after years of football and the injuries that go along with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy with Dr. Wagner. It helps with severe osteoarthritis, including bone on bone. loss of cartilage, rotator cuff, labrum, and meniscus tears. And really, it's about getting people back to doing all the activities they love without pain, and most importantly, without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, which can regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words, packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Icy Cool and oh so sweet. It's $305,000 in cash. Turn over a new leaf by winning your share of these big summer bucks. Every Saturday in July and August, golden opportunities abound with hourly drawings from 8 p.m. until midnight when one grand prize winner will score 10 grand with 50 grand on the last Saturday of each month. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Being the new kid in high school is hard. I didn't know if I would be accepted or if I'd fit in, because being known is key to who we are. Hi, I'm Peyton Seal. When I first came to King's Schools, I knew something was different. My teachers cared about me. I have community. I'm learning who God called me to be.
Sign up for a tour today, and if you enroll, just mention this ad and pay no application fee. Visit joinkings.org for more info. That's joinkings.org. Building resilient disciples of Christ through Christian education for 75 years.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
The next Mariners homestand gets started with an AL West showdown against the Astros July 18th to 20th. Don't miss your chance to catch Cal and the crew square off against their division rivals at T-Mobile Park. Then it's 3 straight Mariners value games versus the Brewers July 21st to 23rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to El Hombre, Michael Bradley, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com.
That was a wide variety of topics.
Oh, yeah.
Hot dog and ice cream competition.
Yeah.
Eating competitions. Went to
hats.
Black Sabbath.
That's right. Like he says, those are your people. Yeah. Those are my people out there. Yeah. And then talking about Robin Roberts throwing 28 consecutive complete games. That's unbelievable.
It is incredible. According
to the Google machine, he's throwing somewhere between 95 and 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Jen and Beaverton said, I wonder if if the way they were getting balls to move was any different back then. I'm going to say yeah, because they were using Vaseline.
Right.
They were using spit, the old spitter. They called it the spitter, spitball.
Right.
So yeah, they weren't as savvy to picking up on some of the things that they use these days, or were trying to use. I mean, guys would have like a little emery boards that you'd file your nails down. They'd have those in their back pocket.
Remember the
piece
famous
of sandpaper
scene where the guy pulls his hands out of his pockets and the
in what movie?
The emery board. No, this just happened in a game, and you can see the umpire. He's standing there and he watches it hit the ground, and the player's like going, "What? No, I don't have anything."
Yeah, Gaylord Perry made a joke of it. In the exhibition, putting a jar of Vaseline under his hat, and then took off his hat, and there's the jar there. I mean, there's a certain So they were getting away with a lot that they don't get away with these days.
Yeah.
So definitely different. Meanwhile, you were referencing this with El Hombre, Cal. There's a video of 8-year-old Cal that his dad sent to. I guess did he send it to Daniel Kramer?
Yeah,
I don't know who he sent it to, but it comes.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it comes courtesy of his dad, and this is 8-year-old Cal being playing out the role of being the home run derby champion.
I'm the home run derby champ. Say in the champion, in the champ. I'm the home run derby champ. He got.
I wasn't in a contest, was he?
You ought go win, Pete. What you say? What you say? I'm the man. I'm the man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What you say? What you say? I'm the man. Oh yeah. That's Cal. Cal had a lot more personality as a little kid. He was much more animated as a little guy.
You remember the first referenced this a number of times since Cal's become super famous, but that first interview with him, we had like 100 questions for him.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, it was fine. He was answering the questions. It was just that, he didn't have a lot of words. But that's opposite of that. What we just saw there.
Yeah, if you see the video, he's moving around, he's bobbing his
dancing.
head. You're the man. I'm the man. So yes, this has been a lifelong dream for him, which makes it even more of a special event. That makes it even cooler that he's a part of it and having his dad pitch to him and his brother catch. It's a very, very cool thing. And Adnan Virk was asked about this. He was asked if the national media is taking more notice of Cal and just being the complete player that he is.
Yeah, and I think it's the overall game, Mike. Because I said the home runs can play. And, of course, it's important. Trust me, that's eye-popping. The guy's got 33 home runs. If he hits 60 home runs by catcher, that's bananas.
Or 35.
But as Roland... 35. Excuse me. I showed him a couple.
He hit 2 more just while you were talking. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. But, it's not just the home runs. As I said, the average. Let's talk about the defense. So I said, look at pitch framing, which might be soon an extinct art. As you know, ABS is going to be coming at some point, automated balls and strikes. So who cares how well a guy can pitch frame? Well, for now, he's among the better pitch framers. He calls a great game. You can have a great staff like Seattle's had for years, but the catcher is an important part of that as well. He's got a good throwing arm. He blocks the ball well. So on all levels, he is a complete overall player.
That kind of sucks for Cal because he is. And look, I don't know. You would know better than I would. I haven't really been paying attention over the years to pitch framing, but who are some of the, obviously maybe Johnny Bench. I don't know who've been the good ones.
I don't feel like they got the good. I don't think it was as emphasized back then as it seems to be now. You didn't hear about pitch framing. At least I don't recall hearing that phrase, pitch framing. I didn't hear that.
Maybe that once they got the box there that you can see on.
Yeah, I'm sure they did it. I mean, it just wasn't. I don't know. Maybe there's some old timers listening to us say, "Yeah, they said it all the time." I don't recall ever hearing that on a broadcast as a kid or hearing about pitch framing. But maybe it's just more prominent now, talked about more now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a definite skill of his. It doesn't always work, and often he doesn't need to frame the pitch. It's right there, and it doesn't get called. So I am 100%. Pro ABS.
So that puts you opposite of Cal.
That's okay.
Cal.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the drama, but I do get pissed every once in a while.
Well, especially if it impacts the game.
I don't know. I like screaming out, "That's not a strike!" And my wife's like, "What are you talking about?"
Why you take joy out of weird things? Why is that fun? Screaming out, "That's not a strike." It's one of my great joys.
That's right.
Virk talking about what he hears from his coworkers on Cal, endlessly charismatic, and they like his lunch pail style.
Well, I think there's one aspect to it, which is that he's endlessly charismatic, Brock. And, it's funny. You say, well, why is that? And I go, well, first off, a nickname like Big Dumper certainly helps. And a bobblehead in which you're squatting is something no one's going to turn down. But I think he seems like he's got that lunch pail demeanor about him, that work ethic. And I think that's something that former players certainly appreciate. Those guys, Brock, just like yourself, they can spot a prima donna a while away and go, hey, that guy's a great player. I'll take his talent on my team, but I wouldn't necessarily want him as a teammate. With Cal Raleigh, they go, he possesses both the tangibles and the intangibles. And by the way, on a very cost-friendly contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He could have got a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Could have got a lot more money out there.
Yeah.
Remember Chuck Knox had this cartoon character, this big buffed guy, and he's got a hard hat on, and he's carrying a lunch pail. And then with the other arm, he's pointing at himself like I think it said accountability or something like that. That's Cal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. One more from Adnan talking about he's saying Anthony Recker is the one who swayed him to Cal's side in the MVP debate between Cal and Judge.
So on all levels, he is a complete overall player. And Anthony Recker, who's a former catcher, made the point to me. He goes, I don't know how Raleigh's not the MVP. I said, what are you talking about? Aaron Judge has an OPS over 1,200. He's going to win his third MVP. He goes, but look at what Raleigh's doing on that team. Where's his support staff? And I said, well, it's not like Goldschmidt and Bellinger. Those guys are MVPs. They're former MVPs. They're not what the ones you were. He goes, I'm telling you, Cal Raleigh is more valuable to his team than Aaron Judge is to the New York Yankees. Raleigh should win MVP. Catcher, by the way, look at what a position that is, the toll that takes. Even if you're DHing here and there, he's primarily a catcher. He goes, if he can keep this up, if he hits 60 home runs, for God's sakes, as a catcher, and the Mariners can make the third wild card spot, he goes, that guy should be an MVP.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that his position has to come into account. Again, I don't know who the voters are or what their sort of criteria is, and if they're going to be swayed by, well, it's the Yankees, and it's I mean, Judge is. This isn't a runaway for either one. I'm not saying open shut. Cal's the guy, and that's it. Right. There is a debate. Aaron Judge is having a ridiculous season. The end. He is. So should he win it if they both continue on this path? I'm not going to go, well, Cal was robbed, but there has to be some emphasis put on the position he plays and the demands of that position, especially in the second half. As we've talked about, when catchers do tend to slow down because they get more and more beat up, and you're playing in the heat of the summer, and it's that much more demanding. So we'll see where their numbers sit at the end of the season. But, yeah, him being a catcher needs to be taken into account, and hopefully with the voters –
well,
it will be.
We talked about this at the outset of the show, that the pitching is starting to get back to where it was last year, where they were number one and everything. And so if later in the season, that's going to become more important, people are going to be looking at pitching. Oh, who's running the show out there? Cal Raleigh.
All right, coming up, hard to believe that we were able to learn that much coming off of the holiday weekend, but we'll find out exactly what we did or if we did learn anything. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2
Cal is on a historic pace. We haven't really seen anything like this, right? You have to look around the rest of that team and go, okay, who's going to carry some of this offensive load? Do you feel like it could be Randy?
It could be. It should be. You need guys like Randy to step up. Can we expect him to have 2 bombs a night? No, let's be real. And I think most of you are going to be real. 4 RBIs last night, the most since April 9th against Houston, so that's good.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Look at it outside. This is beautiful weather. This is motorcycle weather. I've been riding the bike into work. I'll be obviously riding it home. And with that comes a little level of risk that you don't assume when you're in the car. We're a bit exposed out there on a motorcycle. And to this point, knocking on wood, I have not been in a crash. But if you are somebody that has been, you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, what you don't do is don't settle for a firm that says they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it, and that would be Law Tigers, who's been part of the writing community for nearly a quarter of a century nationwide. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year, because writers deserve real support when they need it most. Law Tigers are the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. And you see them out at all of the events. You see the tents out there. You see the vans everywhere. They're supporting all clubs, all shops, and Law Tigers are always by your side. And your case evaluation, completely free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. The Law Tigers. You never ride alone with Law Tigers. They are Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Mike Salk here with some exciting news from a family-owned business that's local here in Western Washington. Yeah, we love to root for these guys. It's Riverside Roofing, and they've once again earned the prestigious GAF Master Elite President's Club. Well, that puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers in the nation. So you might remember I've been talking about only 3% of roofing companies nationally qualify for GAF Master Elite status. But how many of those achieve President's Club? Well, that's only 2%. Truly the cream of the crop. Proudly from Marysville and serving homeowners all over Western Washington, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. So what does that mean for you, the homeowner? Well, it means you're hiring the best. A company that gets high marks in performance, reliability, and service, plus an elite warranty to match. Highly reviewed and highly recommended, certainly by me. Riverside Roofing is your go-to local roofing contractor. Book them now and get that roof done fast. I highly recommend them. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. They are the roofing company you can trust.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
This is a house of learned doctors.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
Hard to imagine us learning anything coming off a holiday weekend. It's like talking to a brick wall. Ask Ryan Rowland-Smith, he'll tell you.
What was he referring to that time? That he said
said he was making fun of himself because he was just speaking, waiting for his point to come out. He's like, it's like talking to a brick wall. But I took it more as a shot at us.
That's what it sounded
like. We weren't listening.
Yeah.
So he may as well be talking to a brick wall. But he said that was going to be a self-inflicted wound on him.
I like how he was trying to, make a joke about you at the end.
Yeah, he whiffed.
So he texted me and says, "Yeah, I had nothing."
Yeah, that was clear. Yeah. He clearly had nothing. What did we learn today, Matt?
Well, speaking of that, we learned that it's really hard to come up with a joke on the spot sometimes.
By the way, real quick, I know you guys are going to go to selling Bob Stelton's vision.
Yeah, you took too long.
He had something good. There. He couldn't get to it, man.
Real quick, hey, Julio got punched out by Skeens. What do you do next at bat? Said, all right, you're going to throw that fastball middle away? Thanks. And he adjusted and he ripped it into right center field. Good sign for that. But that's all I got. There you go. I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we were texting back and forth, and at one point, he said he was going to make a joke there. He goes, "I had nothing."
He was just going to talk until something came out. I just like how you could hear him going, I know you got to get back to Bob Vision. Yeah. He's time's up.
Yeah, you kind of made that clear when you started making those noises.
Yeah, like you can't stammer that long into a joke. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's right. There are rules.
Yeah. What else did we learn?
Well, we also learned what Ryan was up to today.
Just got done doing my next gen baseball camp. By the way, I didn't plan this. I wasn't trying to come on here and plug the camps by any means, but I appreciate it. But we're out in Bellevue for week one. Epic camp today. Weather was great. It was literally, it took us about 2 hours to get into it because I was just telling stories about getting trapped in bullpen bathrooms, and the kids loved it.
The kids loved it.
Kids love it. Adults love it. We all love that story.
Yeah. Is there an age limit? I mean, can a guy in his 50s and 60s sign up?
They can come listen to the epic stories. No, I'm kidding. No, sometimes I get on the chat when we first start, and the kids are looking at me like, "Dude, can we just go out and run around and throw a baseball already?
Can you stop talking already? Jeez." Yeah. I think the kids are going, "Yeah, I don't care about any of this."
Yeah, you become that guy, I guess. Because I remember being a kid listening to older people's stories and just going, Where's this going?
I don't care, sir. I want to throw the ball.
Can I just go now?
So good. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned that El Hombre is a big fan of the hot dog eating contest.
Are you somebody that watches the hot dog eating competition on the 4th of July?
Yes, absolutely. I watched every second, much to my wife's dismay. We watched the whole hour. I love the introductions. I love watching Joey Chestnut eat. I love that guy with the boater, the straw boater that does all of the stuff. It's tremendous. It is a great event, and you couldn't have it in any other country.
See, I thought he was going to be sarcastic. I thought he was like, "Oh yeah, I love that," and then go, "No."
Yeah, you're waiting for that.
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't. That didn't really. I mean, college professor, hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, I thought he was going to make fun of it, and I thought that was all. I was waiting for the punchline. Like, here's the big build up to the sarcasm. Oh yeah, watch it. No, he's dead serious.
Yeah,
he's into it.
Yeah, that was that was surprising. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's. Who knew? Who knew he'd appreciate the simple things in life like that?
Yeah.
What else did we learn?
Speaking of that, we also learned that he's a fan of the other eating competitions.
And I love what they eat. He ate 9.5 pounds of fudge in 8 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable.
Just celebrating gluttony.
275 crawfish in 4 minutes. Come on, man.
It's always the most random food item, too.
Yes. You never hear anybody say he ate 400 Brussels sprouts. Nobody could do that. That's the worst. They're the hard little green balls of death. No.
Little green balls of death.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm just looking at the official website for MajorLeagueEating.com. You've got burrito
Do they have
champion.
an application?
You've got a crawfish champion, 6.5 pounds in 10 minutes.
Well, apparently Ian would be like probably the one that would most likely be the best eater coming out of here because they're not big guys, right?
No. You got an asparagus. You got bologna. You got corned beef and cabbage.
Just think how you smell after
141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes. Joey Chestnut holds that record.
Oh, my gosh.
Ugh, my goodness. Yeah. Donuts, ham and potatoes, chili, matzo balls. Those are all the records out there to be had. All right. Well, you heard Ryan Rowland-Smith there. We'll talk to him about everything that's going on with the Mariners, everything he saw leading up to this All-Star break that's coming up. That conversation is coming your way next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
This summer, the Mariners take over Atlanta with the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres.
99 crackles over the corner.
Bryan
Wu has retired 13 Yankees in a row. Julio Rodriguez dives and he makes the catch.
And Cal.
Number 34 for the big number.
Congratulations to the Mariners All-Star 4. From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best Eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.